What's happening, San Diego? Great to be with you. Happy Thursday morning. Hope everyone is well. Your midday hang is here. Danny and Elsten checking in on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We are all together in our Odyssey studios overlooking Murphy Canyon. Annie Halbrin's here. I'm Craig Elsten, Braden Suprenant alongside, ready to deliver 4 hours live, local San Diego sports audio entertainment to you. Bridging the gap between our spring training buddies, Ben and Woods, and our other spring training buddy, Tony Gwynn Jr.
Yes.
Along with Chris Eller. Here we are. Someone's got to stay home. Annie, how are you?
I guess that is our show. Good. How's everyone doing this morning? Happy Thursday to everyone. Some good interviews that were happening this morning on Ben and Woods. And hopefully everyone's having a good day. Braden, how you doing?
Doing well after playing some softball last night. I did the first hit of the day. Definitely hurt my quad a little bit. But aside from that, it was great. I was able to make it through the entire night of playing softball. Meanwhile, Sushi Sam his little finger got hurt, so he had to go home. Sorry, Sushi Sam.
Sorry.
Some of us grind through the pain of men's softball. Some of us can't hang, and then they go home. So
Got it. So
just gotta
quad
throw that out
injury,
there.
toughness,
Exactly.
finger injury,
pinky
weakness.
injury.
Pinky. Oh, wow.
Come on.
Now, listen.
Come on.
It's hard to grip a bat if your pinky's busted.
It is, but that doesn't mean you can't do it, Craig.
Well, maybe he can't do it well. Maybe he's one of those good people who recognizes the good of the club. That Sam at 70% isn't as good as
we already know that.
Jamoke
I mean,
at 90%.
Sam at 100% is not the best in general. 1 for 3 most nights, but
hope you're
okay.
well. Hope you're well,
He's in
Sushi
urgent care,
Sam.
you
Jeez
know?
Louise.
he might.
Just
Took
Took
killing
a
this
short hop
dude.
off his wrist. Oh, wah.
It's never on the show. We're just killing him as a
know
straw
what?
man.
Yes.
This is the definition of a straw man. Put someone up. And,
Open the lines. Let me defend
yeah,
myself.
exactly. Well, call in and ask us anything.
Annie makes fun of the guy when he takes people out on dates. I make fun of the softball. Craig's made fun of the way he slaps the floor at the A house
I
on the
definitely
floor.
think that's too much.
Yeah. Got to start off saucy here on a Thursday.
I appreciate that. Well, we got a fun show lined up for you today. Once again, we will be working through some of the good work of our friends in the morning. Later in our Padres Deep Dive Hour, you'll hear from Jackson Merill, who was on this morning with Ben and Woods. Boy, they were coming in with big hitters late today. Manny Machado, Dylan Cease in the last 2 segments.
Oh, yeah. They had on Jason Hayward earlier and Jackson Merill, I think Michael King,
Yep.
right? You just said, yeah. So, yeah, a lot of players stopping by and some good stuff from there.
You can find it all on the website. You can find it all on the 97.3 The Fan social media as well. But you will hear on the airwave, again, when we get to the Deep Dive Hour, you'll hear Jackson Merill. Later in the 1 o'clock hour, you'll hear Michael King. So those were 2 of the interviews that were done a lot earlier in Ben and Woods. We'll play them later in the day for people who probably didn't hear them earlier in the morning. So very much looking forward to doing that as the show goes on. In this hour of the program, coming up at the bottom of the hour, we will welcome in first time Sasha Kljestan, who is a former MLS player, who is now a studio analyst for Apple. He's on MLS Season Pass. I was watching just to see what it was like.
Yeah.
Watching their MLS Countdown show, which is just very much like the Sunday Baseball Tonight. Remember when that used to exist? Or NFL Countdown, where they're going through the games, they're going through all the highlights of the weekend, and chopping it up inside the NBA style. Really cool. So we'll talk to Sasha Kljestan, who picked San Diego FC to finish dead last. See if
you can ask him about it.
Yeah, a former Galaxy player picked them to finish dead last. Wonder if after one win, admittedly one win.
Yeah, he picked them dead last, to end the season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Picked them 15th in the Western Conference. 15 of 15.
Yeah.
So. And maybe 33 results from now, he'll be proven right. But
he'll be back on to say his piece. But for now, we can at least challenge him on that thought
for today.
Yes.
So the momentum building for the season opener, the home opener, I should say, for San Diego FC on Saturday night. So coming up at 10:35, a chance to which is what we've been trying to do for the longest time. But it's for us to, right, Annie, to figure this stuff out. We have been focused on our club, but Sasha can tell us, like, what's St. Louis about?
Mm-hmm.
What's the team that's coming in about?
Yeah.
What's going on? How about the league? You played in the league. Now you cover the league. What's the direction of the league? What's going on? What should MLS fans know about the league? What I still don't know. Like, what 8 weeks in, 12 weeks in, what are we in store for here? So we'll talk to him at 10:35. As mentioned, Padres Deep Dive Hour. We'll push the Daily Schilt right in there because it's been coming out earlier because they've got the games. He's got to get on a bus to Mesa or probably an air-conditioned SUV.
An hour ahead there. It's like,
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, Arizona.
Well,
okay, California. I don't know.
One or the other. Say okay, California.
Arizona doesn't switch their times. They stay in the same time all year.
They stay daylight savings time all year, which is what I would dream of California.
Yeah,
doing, so.
yeah. Huh. Well,
this is the one time I'll tip my cap to Arizona.
This is another way that Craig loves Arizona.
Yes, right. Yes.
Right.
Well, now you've found one.
Much.
Now you've actually found one.
Yes.
That's one. That's one. The Cracker Barrel in Yuma. It's another.
That's another.
The Cracker Barrel in Yuma.
That's pretty good.
You love the grids.
I do like the grid style of Phoenix.
Right. Yeah.
Very navigable.
Yes.
Easy.
It's like 34th Street, 35th Street. It just goes like that.
Guy talks like Derek Hall.
Yeah.
No cap. Arizona's municipal planning was outstanding.
Fellow kids.
They do have Top Golf there.
Golf's great.
Jeez.
That's them. Still can't believe San Diego doesn't have
Did they break ground on it yet or no?
They're right. They're supposed to downtown there, but I don't know if they've broken ground
at the rental car where the rental car place used to be. Yeah,
I haven't heard about that for a while.
And then there's another one in Serrano Valley they're supposed to put in.
Oh,
has that broken ground yet either? Probably not.
Well,
I'm still
it's San Diego. So
Dutch Bros is here, so
that's right to save us all.
and we have of course Arizona. Their beaches aren't as nice as ours. So
yeah, you got that right.
Oh, that was
you got that right.
The hotel, the USD hotel, they had like a sign from the hotel, like welcoming USD to Arizona, and they said we might not have the beach here, and like all these other things. And I immediately went to I immediately told the team, like, they're so jealous about San Diego. It's not even funny.
San Diego is
it's like a
much more premier place to live.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They want a beach so bad here in Arizona. And I just say tough.
I'm never going to have it.
Yeah, you can AI one maybe in a visual, but that's it.
You can dream.
Arizona.
Count the lake.
Arizona.
River.
And
you can go to the lake.
The people in Arizona just keep thinking that they hope that like an earthquake happens and the state kind of breaks off a little bit. And they get
that's what they're dreaming of.
That's what they've been hoping
flooding,
for forever.
The raising, like the 30-foot raising of the ocean floor or ocean level, and then all of California submerges. And
dream big,
There it is.
All the people in Yuma are
Yuma's beachfront
their
property.
beachfront property.
Well,
people invested in there a long time ago.
There, right.
Maybe some century. But not right now, Arizona.
You get your frozen custard and your beach. So
good point. You can find the Mennonites, the mediocre frozen custard. According to Braden, the not that great frozen custard.
No, I thought the custard was great.
Oh,
the burger was
only okay.
Which is funny because somebody yesterday at softball, John was talking about, oh yeah, I love wedges. Went to the Freddy's. I love Freddy's. I thought that was the best burger ever. I was like, oh yeah, custard was great.
The best burger ever.
That's what he thought. So
Also later in the show, I'm really looking forward to this because I hope you haven't seen it. We are going to play another of our semi-recurring game segments called Is This Fun or Is It Eyewash?
What? I've never played that game.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
You have not. Maybe I wasn't here.
There's no bump or anything.
It's like made for you. Yeah, we just talk about it. It's because
as the queen of a silly game.
No, it's not a silly game. No. This is just a thing we do from time to time. We find something odd and then we run it by the queen of eyewash, Annie Heilbrunn, and find out, is it cool or is it eyewash? This will be a new Rockies reliever that we might have to get to know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's a major league player.
He's pitching for the Rockies now.
Okay.
I don't know. It might be the silliest strikeout celebration.
But this wasn't like a minor league game that this happened.
This was an actual spring training game.
Oh, okay. Well,
actual spring training game.
I will.
Is it
look
cool?
Forward to that.
Is it eyewash? That's coming up in the 11 a.m. hour. We'll also, of course, bring you our regular segments. We'll have the 12 o'clock sports fix. We will have a silly game. It'll be fast money. It'll be the bonus round from the Family Feud game show. We'll play that at 12:40. We'll wrap up the program with Ask Us Anything. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up. I'm very excited for it. We'll get all the regular details out of Padres spring training, which feels like right now we're in that time. You know what I mean?
It's because we haven't had a normal spring training in a long time.
Yes,
this is what it is. Exactly.
That's right. You're exactly right.
We still have almost a month. Actually, well, because February is not a real month. It's not actually 3 days, but
it's a small.
It's a smaller month, but it's March.
It's a wee month.
27th? Is it?
Yeah.
March 29th or 27th?
March 27th.
Okay, so a month
day.
Technically from today. And we have a long way to go still in spring training, but it's because there was Korea and then there was the WBC and there was COVID year and spring training has not been normal for the Padres for so long. You're right. We are in the middle weeks of spring training that are things just continue. They carry on.
Exactly.
Carry on from day to day.
Exactly. It's just if there's another game today, the guys are going to show up at 6:30. They're going to be on the fields at 9. They're going to be on a bus at 10. You know, they're going to be at their game or the game's here.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a sim game and they're going to have a real game. And then the stars come out after 3. In 2 weeks, they'll lengthen out a little. You know, it's the rhythm of it. And I do appreciate it. But I think what I appreciate more is we got Ben and Woods out there to get these long form interviews that we then have the opportunity to exclusively present to you on the Padres flagship. So I saw someone yesterday, a guy, a Padres Twitter type guy that I sometimes agree with, sometimes disagree, but he was like, in the hierarchy of interviews, player interviews are at the bottom. I don't learn anything. I'm like, you know what? I disagree.
I disagree with that.
Yeah, I disagree. Especially now. I think in spring training, I want to humanize the people that we're then going to go and watch and be clinical about and have stats for and everything.
Yeah.
You know, that we don't want to just turn them into commodities. They're human beings. They've got real stories. Those stories come out in the spring. And I always want to have that. So I keep it in the back of my mind when a dude gives up a 3-run homer, about no, he's a really cool dude. He missed on a pitch. What do you want to do? That's my opinion.
They're not robots, but spring training, look, they've got a little extra time to be able to do some interviews, and usually they're more relaxed. So I think it's good to hear from them.
And we will as the show goes on. So take that. But when we come back, now that we are underway on the program, going to hit a couple of things that we won't really have a ton of time to get to the rest of the show. For UCSD, I thought the big tests were over, but I didn't realize of the rise of CSUN. But CSUN has risen. And
we're going to call them Northridge all day today since they're playing UCSD.
Good call.
We don't respect your call us CSUN.
Yeah. So Northridge.
Yeah,
Northridge.
I'm not calling the
Cal
A's
State
the
Northridge.
Athletics. They're the Sacramento A's. And CSUN is whatever, Cal State
Northridge.
Right.
Northridge.
If you were to tell somebody in a different state, we played CSUN, they'd go, what is that?
Is that some weird Christian college?
And you'd be like, Cal State University, Northridge. And then they'd be like, well, why didn't you just say that? Well, they want to be known as CSUN. But if I don't know what the acronym stands for, is anybody going to know what your school is?
Like CSUN sounds like maybe like a nonprofit or like a,
right.
They're environmentally conscious and they're all about the CSUN.
At CSUN, our 6 pillars are community.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Or maybe like a band. I'm going to go listen to CSUN. No, okay.
I
fine.
literally,
Not a band.
I think
Not
I had
a
this
band.
conversation with a alumni of Northridge.
Very short-lived band.
And I said,
Okay, fair
CSUN.
We are CSUN.
And I said, oh, they want to be called CSUN. And the guy was like, what?
What about like, hey, you remember like PacSun? Like, PacSun in the mall?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's
do.
like CSUN,
Yeah.
like California Sun,
Absolutely.
Could be a store,
Could be a
surf store.
it could be a sunscreen.
Well, I mean, you have CSUN, which is Cal State Northridge, but then you also have the Atlantic Sun, which goes by ASUN. And their tournament brackets out
ASUN just
already.
sounds
ASUN.
weird. That sounds
ASUN,
even
but
weirder.
that's a conference. So maybe
Yeah.
people would be like, CSUN, is that a conference?
Right.
In this day and age of conference realignment?
So confusing.
Why would you want to be
ASUN.
known by something that nobody knows you as?
Well, anyways, it's going to be a big game.
Northridge. Is it at Northridge or at Lions?
It's at Northridge.
Oh, wow. Do they have lights?
I'm pretty sure it's played indoors.
Got to be old. If you don't have lights on inside.
I mean, yeah. Otherwise, they just have to open up all the doors and windows.
That's They don't have lights for baseball, so I was assuming, do they not have lights on campus?
Man,
It's an Amish campus now?
today we have chosen to be an anti-Northridge show.
I could be anti-Northridge.
So if you happen to be a supporter or benefactor or alum
Call in.
of Cal State University Northridge, not your home today.
See, I feel like this is different than calling Irvine Cal Irvine, which is not a thing.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because people call them Cal Irvine or Cal State Irvine or.
Well, no, I mean, they're UC Irvine.
But they're, but that's what. I can't tell you how many ESPN broadcasts the broadcaster calls them Cal Irvine or Cal State Irvine or whatever, which is not even what their school name is. At least calling Northridge, they're actually Northridge and used to go by Northridge. I don't know why this is a big change for them.
It's not.
It's stupid. Not. Just like Long Beach going by the beach is dumb.
Plus, the most popular league in the most popular league in the world is also the league that's the most willing to change things at the drop of a hat. And never once stop to think about, to care about, oh, well, I don't know, tradition. Yeah. No, they just change things. They just change it, and they change it, and they change it.
What did the SEC change?
No, NFL this time.
Oh, wow.
You know, SEC, it just means more, but NFL still draws, it just draws more.
Just draws more.
Yeah, we'll get to both of those stories when we come back. And
it's really been bothering me.
What?
We'll put the fries in the bag on it a little bit, but like what like Braden's flat tire and your termite situation. Like,
I fixed it.
Where did we get to on here? Yeah.
Oh, well,
like don't bore the people,
but
just like give them a you know.
When we come back,
we'll resolve both of those.
All right, fine.
Pressing issues.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have an update.
You know
what my buddy called my car? He called it Derek Rose for all of the tire injuries that my car had.
Ouch.
And he was like, your car's tires are like Derek Rose. He's like, go patch it up. Hey, get back in there, Derek. Good job, buddy.
You're like, I remember my car's MVP season.
Yeah.
Okay?
You know what?
I remember that year. It was perfect.
I don't name my car, but you better not be calling my car Derek for the tire problems I have.
That's actually funny.
Patch it up. He's like, get back out there, Derek. After I told him I fixed my tire.
All right, let's hit that first time out. Looks like we're going to hit it exactly on time, and we're going to come right back with more. It's Annie and Elsten, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. 10:23 on the Fan. Welcome back, everybody. Annie and Elsten here with you. Rolling till 2 o'clock today. Want to say thanks to Fox 5, Jill Chandler, asking me to come in this morning. Had the chance to sit there and chat with Raul.
How'd that go?
Oh, it's fun. Yeah, they were going heavy on soccer in the 7 a.m. hour today.
Very nice.
They had Tom Penn on. He walked out of the green room as I walked in this morning, and then ran into Grace from PR, who was here before when they were handing us all kits and whatnot a few weeks back. And then, they had me on to ask questions like, why is it called a pitch as opposed to a field? Can you explain offsides? Which without graphics is a little tricky to do on a morning show.
I bet. Yeah.
It's a little tricky to do.
Yes.
And then he asked me to defend it. And I'm like, I can explain it, but I can't defend it. I mean, I think I can in an abstract way, in a longer form like this, explain, recognize that the teamwork is intrinsic with the offside rule, and the game might look less attractive if there were always players on opposite sides of the pitch waiting for the ball to be kicked to them. But anyways.
They do a great job on there on Fox 5.
Yeah.
It's a good morning show.
A lot of fun. So thanks to those guys for having me on and asking me basically why should somebody who's an average like soccer? And I get it. I get it. But I'll say the one thing that I said there, I'll say here too. It's a 2-hour game, guys. It's 2 hours. Take for a second and think about all the times that you sit through endless timeouts in NFL games, all the commercial breaks. How about all the mid-inning breaks, all the pitching changes? You go to a baseball game and we're really happy when it ends in 2 hours and 45 minutes. We're like, ooh, that was a crisp, jaunty affair, 2 hours and 45 minutes. Soccer, it doesn't matter. World Cup, first game of an MLS season, your kid's high school game, whatever. It's going to be a 45-minute half, a 15-minute halftime, a 45-minute half. Game's over.
Yeah.
Clock doesn't stop. They'll add on 3, 4, 5 minutes at the end of the half, but clock doesn't stop. Everything keeps going. They don't go, hang on, we gave up 2 goals. Time out. Let's all take a break. Let's all sit back. Nope. That's no commercials. Undeniable appeal.
Yeah.
45 minutes, no commercials. Get some spots in the break. Go get up. Go get your beer. Go to the bathroom. Go get your drink. Go get your sandwich. Come back. No commercials. 45 minutes. That is undeniably appealing in terms of a sport. Unending action, no commercials. But anyways, thanks to those guys. We've got lots of spring training content coming up. We've got Sasha Kljestan coming up. So this will be a little bit of a shorter segment, but we made fun of Northridge. I'll just briefly note then that Cal State University Northridge is playing very well right now, including going to UC Irvine and winning. I believe they've won 7 in a row. So they are a team to be reckoned with right now. They're 12-4 in the league in Big West. UCSD is 14-2. So this is really, with the other games looking like pretty easy affairs where the Tritons will be big time favorites, including their home games. This looks like the last time that UCSD could stumble before the tournament. And I think it'll be really interesting because they did beat Northridge earlier in the year and they held them down. They really held them to a low point total of only 52, but they've been red hot since. So what does tonight have in store for the Tritons?
Yeah, I'm excited to see, like we've been talking about, just an absolute amazing run for them. And, hey, they've had health on their side too. So knock on the Formica here at our station. But no, this should be a good game. It's another good test for them. And they still need to continue to, win, right? They still need these wins.
Well, they've done so well that they've actually put themselves in fringy at-large territory, which if you heard our segment, that we did a few days ago on the program, their non-conference strength of schedule, UCSD, is something like 240 or something like that. And SDSU's is 10.
Yes. UCSD's is now 257.
Oh, okay.
It continues to plummet.
Yeah. So that's honestly, that alone is the thing that keeps UCSD from being like, well, of course they're going to be an at-large team. Why wouldn't they be? Shouldn't matter about a conference tournament. It's that number. Likewise, it was that number that kept San Diego State in the conversation as they played badly for a month. Yeah. They didn't fall out of it. They stayed on the bubble because of that number. So that's UCSD has had to play extra well in order to overcome their poor metrics to get to where they are. One loss will crash their numbers. It'll just send their numbers, catapulting downward.
And the Tritons 9-game win streak, right?
Yep.
And then the Matadors 7 in a row. So I mean, this will be a good contest.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. We'll check that out tonight. I'll be keeping my eye on that one. Meanwhile, let's knock this out too. I listen. I've got my criticisms of the NFL. There's no question about it. But I do think it's hilarious that every time a rules change is talked about in another league, everyone loses their mind. I mean, when baseball introduced a pitch clock, everyone loses their mind. ABS system. It's a big story. Everyone's got to talk about it. Like, I'm going to be against, I'm a player and I don't like it. NFL changes rules every year. Yeah. Every single year, the National Football League just goes, okay, what do we want to tweak? What do we want to adjust? And we do it. So the latest is they're talking about changing the overtime rule, making it now each team gets a possession no matter what, because they don't like that the team that wins the coin toss wins 58% of overtimes.
Yeah.
So they want to bring that to 50. They want everything to be drilled down to as close as average as possible to make sure that all the bets land on either side, to make sure that all the partners are happy. But I think it's a generally okay rule, I guess. I'm fine with that change.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of like how they roll it is like, they're always trying to tweak things, and they're also adding in the Hawkeye virtual measurements. So all the chain people that you see on the first downs, they'll still be there as backups, but they're going to go to the virtual measurement, which I guess they had in practice this last year, but they just weren't focusing on it. But they feel like the system is good enough now where they feel confident that it's going to be able to hit those first downs, and then they'll use the chain. I guess the chain people still sit there as a backup.
They get to keep running up and down the sideline.
Or do they keep doing it? Yeah. Okay, yeah. But that's virtual.
Just in case one day the power went out, like at the Super Bowl that one year.
And they said it takes 75 seconds to measure a play with chains compared to an average of 30 seconds for the virtual measurement system. So they're going to kind of champion this as, honestly, the technology is there. I think this is kind of time to do this sort of thing, right? I mean, it's still cool, I think, to watch those guys go up and down the field. And if I was doing stories on this, I'd find the generational families who have done this and have been on the sidelines forever, and will still continue to be there. But they're going to kind of tout this too as, going to speed up the game a little bit.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I got no problem with this. The chain is antiquated anyway. The yellow line is what everyone looks at on television anyway. All they're doing is having a line that the referees get to utilize, as well as the people that all the fans are already doing. So, and as you mentioned, again, unlike baseball, which has to be like, look at us, we're doing a thing. Hey guys, hey, we're testing a thing. You're all going to get mad. So we're going to, no, the NFL just quietly did this all last year.
Yeah,
they just did it. And then they're like, okay, so this year we're going to use it now. We did it all last year. We know what's going on. Now we're going to use it. And again, appreciate you, NFL. I do. There's certain things I think are deeply overrated about the league, but one thing that is not is that they don't care. I mean, they are not beheld to, well, this is the way we've always done it. They just refine every year.
And they want to find a way now to bring back onside kicks. In a way, I guess it's better. He said the NFL said that the changes affected the onside kick. Teams were 3 for 50, the lowest recovery rate since 2001.
Yeah, of course. I don't know why you're so shocked, NFL.
Right, what were you expecting when you do that? And you can only do it at certain times and all that. So universal consensus, he says, is that we know we need to do something with this play. So
yeah, it's a waste of everybody's time.
See. And then the tush push has also been a hot topic, and the Green Bay Packers proposing that the tush push is banned. We'll see.
Because they've been beaten by it too many times.
It is very dangerous.
It is.
It's super dangerous for guys' necks, but as long until somebody breaks their neck, the NFL, as said in that article, said, well, there's no injury, so I don't know why we think it's dangerous.
I mean, rugby scrums would like to stop and say hello.
And they break their necks all the time. They have a lot of neck injuries. I mean, so I had a friend that broke his neck doing the exact same thing, and he's paralyzed now. So it is a dangerous. It is a dangerous thing. So to say that rugby is like this super safe sport, it's not. Football and rugby have their injuries with different things. In football, it's your noggin, and in rugby, it's your neck. They're violent sports.
They are violent sports. I'll give you that. All right, let's take a timeout. When we come back, Sasha Kljestan standing by from MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. We'll get more of a broader, more national perspective on what's happening with San Diego FC. Storming the league with a big win at Galaxy. Some soccer talk ahead on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. 10:40 on the Fan. Annie and Elsten back with you. Great to be here with you on a Thursday morning. Roll until 2 o'clock. San Diego FC takes the pitch Saturday night at 7:30 against St. Louis City SC in the first MLS match to be played within America's finest city. Of course, the match will be broadcast, as all MLS matches are, on Apple TV via MLS Season Pass. Pleasure now to welcome via the 97.3 The Fan hotline for the first time on the program, a former two-time MLS All-Star and MLS Best 11 player, 13-year veteran of the league who has transitioned to become a member of the studio analyst for MLS Season Pass. You can watch him on MLS 360, MLS Countdown. Sasha Kljestan joining us now to talk some Major League Soccer on 97.3 The Fan. Sasha, Craig, and Annie here in San Diego. Great to have you on.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Well, the pleasure is ours. Great to have someone of your pedigree on. Great to have Major League Soccer here in San Diego. And, of course, on Sunday, 2-0 at one of your former clubs, Galaxy. A huge result on the night that they waved around the MLS Cup and raised the banner. Obviously, a shocking result within MLS. What were your thoughts and impressions on that dramatic debut?
I mean, I think we were all a little bit shocked, but my impressions are San Diego looked like a very good team. And what a way to start your season, to start your club, to get off on the right foot, to ignite a fan base. I thought San Diego was very, very good. They looked very well coached, and they've got some difference makers in attack, which is basically all you can ask for. So now what I always say is after a good game, you have to back it up. And now you've got the fans excited. Can they do it at home in a tough game against St. Louis on Saturday?
Sasha, just to go into a little bit about SDFC joining this sports market in San Diego, this is a long time coming. And like you said, they're going to have their first home game on Saturday. What do you think of San Diego as a market as a whole for Major League Soccer?
Well, I'm very excited by it, because it brings in the rivalry with the LA Galaxy and LAFC and even San Jose Earthquakes. We got 4 teams in California now. San Diego is a big market. And I know these fans, especially sports fans down there, have been waiting for a soccer team for a long time. So I'm just excited for everybody to get the buzz, to see what it's like. A soccer game is much different than going to a baseball game or going to a Chargers game. So I really hope that the fans are excited about this, because I think the atmosphere in the stadium is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I was watching you guys break down the film on the Countdown program last weekend, Sasha, and one thing that you guys noted is something that as a soccer fan you couldn't help but note watching, which was how SDFC, following that right to dream blueprint that they talked about for a year, high pressure, possession, creative, attacking, dynamic, all of those elements stood out on the pitch. It went from the whiteboard in the training ground to the pitch. What are the advantages? What are the possible perils for the high press strategy that we see Mikey Varas and SDFC utilizing?
So when I played for the New York Red Bulls, we also played in a high pressing system. And what I learned is that if one guy is late, the dominoes start to fall. Or if one guy is lazy, or if not everybody is on the same page at the same time and you get passed through, it's a fire alarm and you got to be chasing back. And so what I could say from week 1 is they were near perfect at it and everybody was on the same page. So a lot of coaches can come in and say all those words you said: dynamic, high pressing, we want to be good with the ball, we want to attack. All these buzzwords, they don't mean anything unless you can put it into work on the field. And it's very hard to do while only being together for 6 weeks in preseason. So I got to give them a lot of credit because they looked very good at that in week 1.
Yeah, and as this market and these fans start to learn about this team, who are some of the veteran players on SDFC that you think fans are going to learn about and be interested in as the season goes on?
Yeah, well, everybody knows about Chucky Lozano, but I think the 2 most impressive players in the midfield in game 1 were Zverkov, which is the defensive midfielder. He's kind of the conductor. And then Luca Della Torre, who's the local kid from San Diego who comes back from Europe. I thought he was very good. When San Diego plays the way they want to play and be brave with the ball and build up from the back, you need midfielders who can progress the ball from back to front. And Della Torre, looked impeccable at that in week 1. And then, of course, Anders Dreyer is the guy who gets all the credit, getting the 2 goals, putting the ball in the back of the net. he's a fantastic player. I've seen him play a lot because he's come from Anderlecht, which is my former club that I played for in Europe. In a quick little story, this offseason, myself, Kevin Egan, Bradley Wright Phillips, the three of us that are on the countdown and the wrap-up show for Apple TV on MLS Season Pass, we went to Belgium to see my old team play on a little boys trip to Europe. And I sat with the owner of my club in the first half. And in the second half, I went and sat with Bradley and Kevin. I said, which player stood out to you? And they said, this guy, Anders Dreyer, looks like he would be very good in MLS. Lo and behold, a few weeks later, he signs for San Diego, and he's the star in week one. He's a very good player. He should get a lot of goals and a lot of assists this season.
We're talking to Sasha Kljestan, studio analyst for MLS Season Pass on Apple TV, which is the home for every Major League Soccer match, including San Diego FC and St. Louis City SC coming up on Saturday. We know very broadly, Sasha, that St. Louis City SC came in their first year as an expansion team. They had a great record going into the playoffs, didn't have success in the playoffs. Things took a step back a little bit last year. What do we need to know about the opponent out there on Saturday night?
Well, when you talk about a team that wants to press high up the field and put the other team under pressure, St. Louis does that with the best of them in Major League Soccer. So that's part of their ethos and part of their DNA. So where San Diego was able to pass through the Galaxy, they made it look easy because the Galaxy is not a pressing team. They're very old up front. They're not very dynamic right now. So this game is going to be much tougher for San Diego. They have to be brave, and they have to continue to try to play with their game plan, but be ready to do it a little bit faster. St. Louis did a lot of their work last year in the summer transfer window by adding a couple players up front, mainly strikers, and Simon Bescher and Marcel Hartel. Those are two very good players that they're going to have to shut down.
Sasha, it looks like Apple TV just continues to grow their programming around MLS. And of course, you're part of that. What's it been like going from your playing days to your broadcasting days? And how do you find that you prepare? How are things different being on this side of it?
It's been a great transition for me. It's been a little over 2 years now. I really enjoy not having a coach telling me what to do every single day anymore. And I'm kind of my own boss until the weekends when we got to get on TV. But it's been great. I really enjoy being a part of the league. I've been a massive fan of Major League Soccer since 1996 when the league started, and then fortunate enough to play for so many years in the league, and now to still be a part of it and using my voice to tell stories about Major League Soccer, which, like I said, I'm a huge fan. It's been a fun transition. I really enjoy the people I work with. I think we have a great product that we put on the TV every weekend between our MLS Countdown show, which is, a 1 hour preview of all the biggest games on Saturday night. And then MLS 360, which for, a fan who hasn't seen it yet, it's basically our version of the NFL Red Zone, where you catch all the action for 5.5 hours straight. Which is probably more exhausting than it was as a player to play a game. By the end of the night, I am knackered. But it's a really great product. If your team isn't playing and you just want to see all the goals and all the action, it's really fun. And now, of course, we've added Sunday Night Soccer, which is our version of Monday Night Football, which will be the marquee matchup of every weekend on Sunday night, appointment viewing, and hopefully we get as good a game as we got last week with San Diego and LA Galaxy.
Incredible stuff, and appreciate that sales pitch, especially for MLS 360, because I think that's a great way to maybe get integrated on many of the other clubs that fans don't know. Along those lines, Sasha, we wanted to ask another kind of broad question, which is, we're all, for the most part, new MLS fans here in San Diego, so we don't know what we don't know yet. If you catch my drift, I'm curious, what are some of the things that we can expect as fans as winter turns to spring, turns to summer?
Well, there are so many more competitions than just Major League Soccer that San Diego FC will be a part of. There's also the U.S. Open Cup, which is the longest team sports tournament in the United States. It's been around for over 100 years, where teams from Major League Soccer all the way down to amateur teams enter the tournament. That's a massive one. Then you also have the Leagues Cup, which is pitting 18 MLS teams against 18 teams from Liga MX in Mexico and trying to determine who's the best team in North America. That's an awesome competition. And then there's the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which San Diego has not qualified for yet. Hopefully they will next year if they finish high enough in the table this year. So you have lots of different tournaments, you have lots of different games. And like I said, I hope the fans go to the stadium and actually feel the atmosphere, because it's so much different than any other sporting event in America. the action goes on for 90 minutes straight, and the fans never take a breath.
Outstanding, man. Before we let you go, just one last thing. I wouldn't have known this if I hadn't tuned into the show this weekend, but picked SDFC 15th out of 15. Now 3 huge points. I mean, 33 results to go, but but what do you think? I mean, what do you think? Maybe better than 15th?
Yeah, listen. The reason every one of us in the studio picked them to finish 15th is because we've never seen them play a game before. So, listen, St. Louis proved us all wrong 2 years ago, and it looks like San Diego's going to prove us all wrong again. This is also the thing to know about Major League Soccer is the parity within the league. The last 3 champions of MLS finished by not making the playoffs the year before. So by that logic, who are the teams this year that could step up, can make a deep run in the playoffs? Maybe San Diego is one of them. I'd just like to throw out one other thing for fans, not of the league yet. There's so much drama involved in sports, right? And if you've seen Drive to Survive, the Formula One documentary, or Full Swing, the PGA Tour documentary on Netflix, we have one of our own. It just came out. It's called Onside. It's on Apple TV, and it follows all the drama of last season in Major League Soccer, and it's a really, really good watch. Cool. If you want to learn more about Major League Soccer.
Oh, that is really smart from the standpoint of how to get people with compelling programming. And I'm absolutely going to be checking that out probably later tonight, Sasha. Sasha Kljestan, thank you so much. Really informative. Appreciate everyone. Every minute that you gave us right here, and hope to do it again as the season continues. Thank you so much for the time today.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Sasha Kljestan, really interesting. And I mean, you can hear his media chops there. He was breaking it down nice and clean for us.
Yeah. And it's good. He gets to share his stories, like he said. And, Apple, like he just mentioned, continuing to kind of add to their programming and what they're offering.
I like the whip around show. That sounds great. I like the idea of like, hey, just throw this on and see what's what. Obviously, the advantage of Red Zone is that they line up in the red zone. So when a team is on the precipice of scoring, whereas as we saw in the match Sunday, ball can be on one side of the field and get to the other side of the field.
They're not on the 50-yard line for red zone.
They are not. No, they are not. So that's got to be different. They've got to. I wonder how they do that from a production standpoint, choosing like, okay, which one of these is in it? Where is the flow?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, it can change so quickly. Right.
Totally. Like, things are really heating up in the Atlanta match, and they come in. No, they're playing it back.
Not so much.
They're playing it back through the keeper. They're rotating through possession. No, interesting stuff. All right, great stuff there from Sasha Kljestan. Seeing as we're talking soccer and we've got a lot of baseball coming, I'll just note that San Diego Wave FC announced their new kits today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they called it the Altamar kit. It looks like a wave, like if you took a close-up photograph of a wave, kind of a, I don't know,
like a beach wave, like an ocean wave.
Yeah,
okay.
like
that
just like
makes sense.
You got a little bit of the, like if you were just looking at water splashing around in an eddy, it would kind of look like that, like a reflection off of it. Pretty attractive.
They have a whole video. Okay, yeah, like tones of like aquas and blues, right? That's what I'm looking at. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, very solid. And that'll go with the Del Sol one that has all the, the white, the orange, the light blue. That's still their primary home kit. So they've got the above water and the below water is what they were talking about there. But you can check that out, and they've got a whole thing happening today as well, where there's having the jerseys modeled and having a whole get together. So you can find that all at san diego wave fc.com if you want to check that out. Their season opener is less than a month away, March 22nd.
It's all happening, everyone.
I mean, we're going to have a really fun spring.
Yeah.
I can't
wait.
wait.
SDFC, Padres, obviously, if, any March Madness that happens, and then all the other great teams in San Diego as well.
Oh, man. Fired up. I really am. Like, I'm fired up for what's still to come. I think this is going to be a really, really exciting spring, summer, and hopefully fall for San Diego as well. Because you know what? The local nine's looking pretty good, gang. Local nine's looking all right to me. When we come back, it's time for the Padres Deep Dive Hour. Let's get into it. We'll start with a spring report. What's the very latest from spring camp? The Daily Schilt. We shall present it to you. The Padres lineup for today. Sammy Levitt caught up with Alec Jacob. Bring you a little bit of that as the hour continues. Is it fun or is it eyewash? The queen of eyewash will weigh in on the latest pressing matter, and a Jackson Merill Ben and Woods interview. All to come in the second hour of Annie and Elsten. Welcome back, everybody. Hour number 2 of the Annie and Elsten program here with you. It's Annie Halbrun, Craig Elsten, and Braden Suprenant coming your way on 97.3 FM radio. It's great to be on the traditional airwaves. Shout out to you in your car or not in your car, but actually listening to the radio. Welcome. It's great to be here. Just thinking about how we always still say, Craig being an old man again, we always still say on the air. And
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Aren't we on the air?
We are on the air.
Okay.
We're on the air. But like, I thought of it because the other day, or I still need to do it. I'm here on Amazon right now. I should buy it right now. Get a digital antenna for our TV.
Oh yeah, did you do that?
I haven't done it yet. Need to do it. Still haven't done it.
Why do you need that again?
So I can just watch
local channels.
Okay.
ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
They actually throw them up there in the airwaves, and you can catch them with an antenna for free.
Why not?
Yeah.
It's
This wild thing that we, I'm going to cut the cord. I'm going to unplug. I'm going to do this. And all of a sudden, like, you lose. I've had that happen. I'm like, okay, well, I've got this. I've got that. But I don't have like over the air ABC.
Yeah.
I don't have over the air Fox. I guess I'll pay $90 to get Fubo, or I guess I'll pay $100 to get DirecTV. Or you can just buy a $15 antenna, plug it into your, and then they still put them over the airwaves. So I just think it's funny because we always say, hey, I'm on the air.
Paying for free channels, rough.
Yeah. Like most of the time, the reality is, hey, I'm digitally recording.
That's right.
Right. Yes.
I'm digitally transmitting.
We are digitally transmitting.
But actually, we are over the air. We are on the air on 97.3.
We are
it's
particles in the air.
Exactly. It's actual airwaves going through the air, hitting your ears.
That's crazy.
Wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in that digital transmission sense, we're also on the Odyssey app. We are streaming worldwide, AUDACY. Check it out. Free to download, free to use. We are a podcast. You can sign up for the show as a podcast if you miss parts of the show. If you are, a daytime worker, you don't get the chance to have the radio on all day long, but you want to check out the program, you can. It's broken up hour by hour. You can find it on all of your notable podcatchers. If you happen to be on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and you want to leave us a 5-star review, goodbye you, please do. Appreciate you. Last and certainly not least, we are a YouTube program. Here we are on YouTube. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. We stream every day. All of our shows are live on video as well as audio. Welcome to everybody in the chat. Thank you for being there. Please hit the like button while you're there. So easy for you to do unless you're away from your computer. Just whoop, bang. Takes just that long to hit the like button, and we appreciate all of you, however or wherever you are listening or watching Annie and Elsten today. It's time for the Padres Deep Dive Hour. Baseball coverage on 97.3 The Fans, presented by T-Mobile. Head to T-Mobile.com. Get a great deal on an iPhone 16 Pro. Okay. What's going on? Yesterday, simple game, 2-1 win. Padres kept the White Sox undefeated or unwinning, so we got that going for us.
They got 2 hits.
Yeah.
How do you get 2 hits in a spring training game? What's worse, not winning a spring training game or only getting 2 hits in a spring training game?
Pitches are ahead of the hitters.
I mean, look at the pitching, though. It's just 2 hits.
Yeah.
Rough.
I mean,
well,
it's the nature of getting down to single A kids by the 5th inning.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's guys in there that are going to be playing minor league ball. I mean, you can sneak out a knock in the desert.
Maybe the pitching was just that dynamic.
Pitching staff of the Pods, top in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, so far so good for the San Diego Padres. That's to be sure. Today they play in Mesa. They take on the Sacramento Athletics. Although I guess right now they're just the Athletics because they haven't gotten to Sacramento yet.
Right.
But soon they'll be the Sacramento
Don't
Athletics.
call us Northridge, we're CSUN. Don't call us Sacramento, we're just Athletics.
There's a very similar energy to that.
That is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to agree with you.
And Long Beach. We're the beach.
Eh.
Cool. 6 Shark mascot, buddy.
Wild. That's attacking my parents' alma mater.
Well, you know what? They should have a nickname for their school, not Long Beach State.
It's the 49ers.
They're not. They got rid of the 49ers. They got rid of the 49ers completely. Now they're just the beach. The Long Beach Beach. Doesn't make any sense.
That's weird.
It's not.
I don't like that.
Go back to at least the baseball team goes by the Dirtbags.
Yeah, that's better.
That's better.
Yeah.
The Dirtbags.
Well, in my mind, they're still the 49ers. Like in my mind, that parking lot that I'll park in on Saturday is still the Murph.
No kidding. Always will be.
It's actually a gravel lot now, but used to be the Murph. This used to be my playground. Here's today's starting lineup for the Padres. Luis Ariz at DH. Don't tell him. Tyler Wade at second base.
Luis just runs out to the field. No. Come back.
Come here, Luis. Eggy's back in left field. Eggy's now hitting third for your Mighty Pods.
He's moving up. He is moving up.
We're going to fully experience Eggy Rosario.
He's getting all the chances, all the opportunities. Yes.
That's the 30-day Eggy Rosario.
He's like every position that he could be too, I think.
You know how they tell you that's the best way to learn a language is immersion? Just 30 days living in the city. Like that's us. We're 30 days living in Rosario town here.
They got to see what he has.
It's true.
Yeah.
Elias Diaz is starting at catcher and cleaning up. That'll matter in a moment. Brooks. Who's Brooks?
I don't know.
Who's
Robinson?
Brooks?
Brooks Robinson?
Brooks is at first base.
Brooks Taylor?
Who?
Last
name Brooks.
Aaron Brooks? Trenton Brooks?
Maybe.
I need the Bruce Bochy. I'm sorry, who?
Trenton
Brooks was assigned to the El Paso Chihuahuas last year. Padres signed free agent first baseman Trenton Brooks to a minor league contract in 2024.
There he is.
Is it Trenton, everybody?
Trenton Brooks.
I don't know who Aaron Brooks is. Oh, no, he's from 2022. Never mind.
No, this is the first one of the year.
He's also a pitcher. This guy isn't a pitcher.
Okay, no.
Right? No.
First base.
Right, he's first base. So
first base.
It's good old Trenton, of course. Trenton, I'm sorry.
Well, February 27th was the first time this year that the Padres threw out somebody and had no idea who they were. Who the heck is this? Trenton Brooks. Followed by...
Yeah. Trenton is a minor league player drafted in 2016 by the Cleveland Guardians. Round 17, overall pick 512. Made his debut in 2024. All right.
There we have it.
Mm-hmm. Also from Alpine, California.
What?
Let's go, Trenton.
What high school do you go to? Granite?
Let me see if I can find
Might
more
be your
about
neighbor.
him.
Christian?
Yeah.
Like the Brooks might live down the street from you.
ML.
Oh, I remember that. We talked about this guy when they signed him for like 35 seconds because it was he was another local guy.
Spoken about and promptly forgotten.
Yes.
Okay.
Where did he go to high school?
Granite Hills High School.
Was he a Granite guy? Yeah. Granite kid.
Okay. Now I remember that.
I do. I remember talking about it.
Now I remember that.
And he made his debut for the Giants. So, okay. Like, it's not the end of the world that we do not know who this guy is. All right. Like, now we know. Makes sense. Sorry, he was not top of mind. But maybe fighting for a spot. So good on you, Trenton.
Fighting for a spot in El Paso for sure. Brandon Lockridge will be the center fielder today. Leo DeVries. This is something I saw yesterday in the official baseball register. They have, it's no longer Leo Dallas. It's Leo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Just call me Leo.
Okay.
No more Leo Dallas.
Okay.
Yes, Leo DeVries, shortstop. Forrest Wall, who I appreciated much more watching him in the late innings yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, left-handed stick. Oh, nice catch in center. Oh, home run. Okay. All right. Forrest Wall. And then Nico Goodrum is the third baseman. But Matt Waldron is the pitcher today, which is interesting to me in that, A, he's facing the A's for the second time in 2 outings.
The A's.
But secondly, last time Martin Maldonado caught him. This time it's Elias Diaz. So somebody's got to catch Waldron when Waldron pitches in the regular season. And we know it can't be Camposano unless he has had a dramatic reversal. So Elias Diaz has to catch Matt Waldron. So that's what I'm going to be paying attention to.
Yeah, and I think you should do that. I mean, I think you should try to get as many catchers in catching him as possible because you just don't know what's going to happen throughout the season. He might have a preference and the team might have a preference, and we know that that's going to happen. But still, you kind of want other catchers to see him and get comfortable with him as much as possible.
Yeah, I'd even like in spring for Camposano to catch.
You will, honestly, because you just don't know what's going to happen in a game or in a season, and you're probably going to need them all to step in at some point.
Yeah, a guy gets sick.
Yeah,
right. Banged his wrist the previous day. All right, let me get out there, and then it's like automatic loss because Campy can't catch the ball.
Or second, third inning, something happens. There's an injury. You know, you just Don't know.
Well, that's what the spring is for, I guess. Long spring for San Diego for the first time in 5 years. And that's something that they can use to their benefit. Another aspect of the long spring is a chance to catch up with guys that you normally wouldn't get the chance to. And in the battle for the final relief job, and it might be 2 because Sean Reynolds is injured right now.
Yeah.
So it could be the final 2 relief jobs that wind up being open. But Alec Jacob is a kid that we've seen the last couple of years now. And every time he comes up, you go, ooh, whoa, what's that? And then you watch him pitch and you go, can you really keep doing that? Like, I get that you did it right now, but can you really keep doing that and be effective? Well, he's going to keep trying. That's for sure. He's not going to, turn into Roger Clemens overnight. He's going to keep being that dude who's funky and throws 79 with weird rise and sweep and everything else. And here's what he had to say this morning in the Padres clubhouse. He caught up with our beloved Sammy Levitt.
Your numbers from a year ago. I mean, the off-speed stuff was really effective, so I want to talk about a couple of those pitches. Let's start with the changeup in particular. How do you feel like that played last year?
I felt really great about the changeup. I feel like that was probably my best pitch last year. I really just want to keep doing what I was doing with it last year. I haven't I'm not trying to change anything with that. Really just trying to perfect it and replace it, put it in the best places possible.
With the sweeper in particular, another pitch that had a lot of success. What did you like about the way you used it a year ago?
Yeah, 24 felt like it wasn't quite as good as 23 actually. So I kind of this offseason kind of adjusted the sweeper a little bit, changed the grip, trying to get a little more vert on it. I think that's going to help me. I think it's going to play a little bit better. That's what the numbers are telling me. So I felt like it played good last year, but I wasn't getting the swing and miss that I wanted. So I'm trying to adjust a little bit.
You mentioned the adjustment with the sweeper heading into the offseason and heading into this spring. What else were you working on? What were the goals this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, always trying to get better, right? Always trying to get, improve on all the pitches and trying to get more consistent with everything. I think that's the biggest thing as a pitcher is consistency. I just nothing too major, really, just trying to change, shapes maybe a little bit here and there, trying to make myself a little bit more unconventional if possible. I think that's a big thing that I bring to the table. So just trying to find other ways to get guys off balance.
Speaking of unconventional, getting guys off balance, obviously you have a unique delivery, unique arm slot. What do you feel like that does to hitters, the benefit of having that type of delivery?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times when I'll face a guy first time through, they're, a little bit on the defensive end because they don't really know what to expect from me. So I think it's just providing a different look, providing something that you don't always see every day. I think I can kind of catch guys and put them in different difficult positions, and just especially if I can stay on the attacking end.
As far as Ruben Niebla, Padres pitching coach, guys constantly rave about working with him. What's the impact Ruben's had on you?
Yeah, Ruben's been great. I mean, he's really just helped me become a pro and figure out how to be the best version of myself out there and be that consistent guy whenever the time calls, whether it's the 4th inning or the 9th inning, whatever you need. I think that's been a big thing for me. Obviously, there's a big jump from minor league baseball to big league baseball. And a lot of it can be a mindset thing. So I think that was a really big help for me.
What do you feel like the biggest adjustment has been? Because when you originally came up, you were mostly that year at Double-A, and then you make a big jump. You're facing major league hitters, especially for somebody like yourself with the unique delivery arm slot. What was the biggest adjustment to face major league hitters?
I think it kind of was just that. Don't think of it as it's the major leagues versus Double-A. This if you execute your pitches and you do what you can do, you're going to get the same. You're going to get guys out the same way that you do in Double-A. It's just maybe the mistakes will be punished a little bit more. So I think that was a big thing for me was don't look at who's in that box and be intimidated by anybody. Just stay on the attacking end. And I feel like I've been good with that, and I think that's led to a lot of success for me.
Getting back to the pitch mix, we talked about the changeup, sweeper, you throw a sinker, four-seam fastball. How did you feel about those two versions of the fastball last year, and what's your mindset with those coming into spring?
Yeah. So I felt like my four-seam played really well last year. I was actually really happy with it. And I felt like the sinker, maybe I used it a little too much. I don't know. It's something that we're going to be playing around with this spring for sure, trying to get my like numbers, sort of like usage numbers, very like similar: sinker, four seam, sweeper, and changeup. Just trying to keep guys off balance as much as possible. Trying to be unpredictable. So I think that'll help me. I think my usages were pretty wide. There's a wide margin between the two. Sinker was much heavier than four seam, so I think that's gonna be a big help for me this year.
It really fascinates me listening to that, and great job, Sam Levitt. Really interesting. Thank you, Alec Jacob, for being very forthcoming and kind of opening up the playbook a little bit there. But they talk about the art of pitching and how it's also a science. And what you're hearing from Alec Jacob there, Annie, is somebody that is truly embraced modern analytics, pitch shaping. He's talking about his percentages. Like, I want to throw an even number of percentage of these four pitches because he knows he's never going to be Dylan Cease and show up and go, today I don't really have the slider, but I'm going to just throw 100 and I'm going to put it past you. If he doesn't have his pitches right, he's wrong. He's like a jigsaw puzzle that has to be put together out there every time. But I just thought it was really, really interesting to hear how much thought he's putting into not only each pitch's shape, but each pitch's usage and how each pitch plays off one another.
Yeah, really good to see him getting that work in over the offseason. I'm sure partnering with Ruben Diabla and Ben Fritz about how he can go ahead and capitalize on his strengths. I mean, you want to have as many looks as you can coming out of the bullpen. That can be a real strength for the Padres and for any team, not just obviously the right left-handed matchups, but the arm slots and the deliveries and how often you can keep the hitters off balance. So the more that he's kind of focusing on his strengths and the fact that he can do some of that and you got to still continue to keep them on their toes is a good sign for him. And I really liked watching him pitch last year. I thought, he got the Padres out of a jam several times. And I hope the best for him. I hope he's able to take that next step.
Good stuff from Sammy Levitt. Good stuff from Alec Jacob. We've still got the Daily Schilt to come. We'll get to that, I believe, in our next segment. And been looking forward to this. We have a new presentation to put in front of the Queen of Eyewash. Is this okay? Or is this way too much? We'll find out when we come back. Stay right here. It's Annie and Elsten, Padres Deep Dive Hour, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Do not forget to listen to Inside San Diego Baseball with Sam Levitt. It'll be back this coming Wednesday, next week, 7 to 9 p.m. right here on 97.3 The Fan and on our YouTube page. Sam will talk all things Padres baseball, keep you up to date on all the latest rumors. All right. 11:23 is the time. It is the Padres Deep Dive Hour. But right now, we will focus very momentarily on one of the Padres' opponents, the Colorado Rockies. One of the rocks in our shoe, to be honest.
Bud Black, shout out.
Right over my
there. I
right
like
there.
to say what's up to him every day.
That's baseball,
Yeah.
Buddy.
There's Buddy. They beat
Guys
us
play hard for Buddy.
Yes,
they beat us
do,
8 times
he's
last
awesome.
year.
Yeah.
They beat us 8 times last year. That's
Yes.
a real thing that happened. We beat the Dodgers more than we beat the Rockies last year. Anyways, the Rockies are a weird team, but they've got a new reliever, a left-hander named Jeffrey Yan. Have you ever seen Jeffrey Yan?
I have not.
Okay, I can tell because otherwise you'd have seen this. Jeffrey Yan apparently has some decent strikeout stuff. He's a lefty, like a reliever, fastball slider. But when he strikes a dude out, he lets you know. Please watch Annie as we now present. Is this cool or is this eyewash?
Wait,
Jeffrey,
so this is an actual game. This is a Cactus League game that went on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This just happened.
Rockies and White Sox. You want sound for this?
Always
or
White
no?
Sox involved.
No, I don't think you really need the sound.
That's kind of funny too, because Will Venable is managing, and then there's Bud Black over there on the other
Mhm.
side. Okay.
A lot of Padre love there.
Connections. Yeah.
All right, so we got the live lefty, Jeffrey Yan.
Which is not related to Jan Gomes.
No. Click play. Here we go. And here's the windup and the pitch, struck out, and the splits with the fist pump.
Was it a splits or was it a guitar riff or something?
Yeah, he looked like he did
Watch
some
it
air
again. Here we
guitar.
go. He'll strike
Here's
another guy,
one.
and wow. So he strikes the guy out. He jumps in the air.
He does a big jump.
And as he jumps, he kicks both legs out. Every once in a while, he does a slightly lesser version of it, and then he kind of comes down on one knee.
And he stares at the batter too.
And then big fist pump, like almost like what is it, like starting up the lawnmower?
Yeah. And this was what inning was this? Did it matter?
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Hey,
This
it's
is just
the
an inning.
Cactus
Just an ending
League.
inning.
It doesn't matter at all.
Okay, I'm just I'm trying to get the full story. Okay.
Trying to give the guy benefit of
Jeffrey
the
Yan,
doubt.
who spells his name Jeffry.
Mhm.
He's a Dominican professional baseball pitcher in the Colorado Rockies organization. Previously played in the Nippon professional baseball for the Lions. I'm not even going to try to say that name. I'm okay with it.
You're
I'm
okay
good
with it?
I'm good with it. You know what? It's a Cactus League game. I don't even know if this guy's making the team. Have your moment. You're on the Rockies. You're playing the White Sox. You're going to get shown up at some point, and you're not going to do that celebration, and someone's going to mock you with it. So I'm good with it. Jeffrey,
I'm not.
You do
So
you.
lame. Does he do this all the time?
He does it all the time.
So he was doing this
he does it
before.
all
No,
the
this
time.
is
He does it
every
all the
strikeout.
time.
Annie. This is not just
literally
he's excited
every
to be for the
strikeout.
Rockies.
He didn't
Oh, I thought
just
it was
do
a
it
one-off.
once. No, he does. He does it. In fact, here's his quote.
I mean, it's the Rockies. What do you have to look forward to sometimes?
Well, this
you know?
now. I mean, this is literally
this
the
and
first thing.
Dinger.
I feel like Bud
Chris
Black
Bryant's
would tell him
next
if he
injury?
couldn't do it. Bud would
Chris
be
Bryant, if he
like,
gets in the batter's box.
Just finding out which oblique has been hurt for Chris Bryant this year.
Not getting excited if he's in the lineup.
Yeah, at all. Oh, hey, he's here today.
Hey, wow.
Yeah, here's what he had to say through an interpreter, Jeffrey Yan. He said, quote, "It's been something I've been doing ever since I was a kid.
Oh, my God.
It's nothing I do to offend the other team. Every time I
Of course not.
celebrate, I always look in my corner. I look at my guys, my catcher, and my side.
Well, that's false.
I will always want to celebrate every out that I get. I'm just happy to do my job. I'm happy to get outs. It's something I do to enjoy the game."
well,
Act
he
like
also
you've been in
said,
the corner.
obviously, here in the United States, baseball is a little complicated. Sometimes opponents will get offended with this kind of celebration. But when they hit a home run against me, they are going to celebrate. They are going to have their fun. That's something I don't get offended by because they are enjoying the game just like I will.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess if I saw it every time, like if they're losing, if the Rockies are losing,
How would you think
which
Manny
is probably
Machado is going to
happen a
handle
lot,
this?
and you do that celebration, it probably
How's Manny going to handle
probably
this?
doesn't come off as well.
Manny's going to be like, "Are you for real?" And the next time he's going to hit a home run.
Yeah.
He's gonna get the bat flip, and
but
then
I think
and
in
then
general,
what's
he
and
is
then
right. Though.
what's
Why can the hitters celebrate and the pitchers can't? The pitchers, it's like, oh, what are you doing? You're showing everybody up. But the hitters can celebrate.
no, they both complain about each other celebrating, and because when the pitchers
don't really celebrate.
they do it all the time.
They just do that, like,
They do. They shoot the arrow. They freak. I mean, do we not remember Brusdar Gratterall?
Yeah.
I think I threw his hat across the
he did throw his hat.
We got the dude in Georgia doing like playing the game, throwing his glove. Look how great I am. It's such eyewash.
Hey,
act like you've been there before doesn't exist in this generation. It's insane.
I see a USA Today story that MLB fans absolutely loved the celebration.
I'm sure they did.
From Jeffrey Yan.
Click Brayden, I just dropped a new link in there. Click the link. This is just so funny. They always wear in spring the 3D tracking nodules.
Oh yeah, this
and
is
whatnot.
Crazy. I actually did see this.
So this is again for our YouTube audience. If you're not on YouTube, this is another good reason to do it. 97.3 the fan page.
Go back and watch
on YouTube. Yeah, or you can go check it out later. But this is the 3D tracking, Annie, of the Jeffrey Yan.
Matt is right. He's probably going to pull his groin, and that's going to be the issue in the chat.
Cow.
Okay.
Hang on. Right. No, that's the old.
Yeah. That's the one I just clicked on that new one.
Really? That's what it gave you?
Yeah. Hang on.
Maybe I did it wrong.
There we go.
No. Okay.
I got the Twitter.
There it is.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
There it is. Okay. Watching the stick figure do it's way better.
All right. I don't mind it, but I will tell you what it gives me vibes of. It's when I watch the NFL and the team is losing by like 3 touchdowns, but someone like gets a tackle and then they're just like, oh, yes. And they're like pounding their chest and it's like, dude, you're losing by like 3 touchdowns. But like, he's like, oh, I'm so into it. So look, you only get to play in the major leagues, but so long, or in the NFL or in any of them. I think he'll get shown up at some point if he needs to be. And if not, like, look, I don't mind it.
Here's how this plays out, because I see it all the time. He's gonna do a celebration, and then somebody's gonna do it back to him, and they know what he's gonna do. He's gonna throw it at somebody's face.
He's gonna dot a dude,
and then it's just gonna be like,
then they're gonna charge them,
and then it's gonna be this like little, this little hissy fit from grown men playing a child's game, and it's just gonna be like, all right, dude, sick. I mean, come on, like this is ridiculous.
I partly feel like if you make it to the big leagues, you get to play the way you want to play, and the game will dictate. The game will tell you. The game will put you in your place.
Yeah.
Well, he goes on the injured list for a sprained ankle.
Exactly. Like if he lands,
leaping splits, and he just catches the ankle wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody's for it, and then when that guy strikes out the side against the Padres, everybody in the chat's going to talk about how much they hate that and how it needs to stop. And it's
Bud Black is such a no eyewash manager. Like, but I wonder if he's like, this dude doesn't even know what's coming. And so he's just kind of like, whatever, man. We're like, do your thing right now. Or maybe Bud's like, it's the Rockies. What are you going to do? I don't know. That's baseball.
Baseball's weird. No, I mean, ultimately, I love weird pitching mechanics. I love erratic figures.
I mean, my dad used to make fun of, because my dad's not a huge baseball guy, but he'd be watching me on the broadcast, and obviously the post-game interviews I'd be doing those. And so he'd always catch Craig Kimbrell when he was, with the Padres. And he was like, he would make fun of him like no other, like and I know that was like a mechanic thing and a timing thing and whatever for him. But people have weird things, right? I mean, the arrow was one of them.
Shoot the arrow at the end.
Yeah. Which I didn't mind the arrow.
Yeah. Oh, what? Fernando Rodney?
Yeah.
Rodney shoots the arrow after
and
the
then
game.
like,
At least you
Will
won.
sometimes pretend to like catch it or something.
Yeah.
Am I making that up in my head?
No, he used to like look for it.
Yeah.
Like
Will would look for it.
This is what I truly want, though. Like the proof of the pudding is on an August evening at Coors Field.
Yeah.
When Jeffrey Yan trots in from the bullpen, walks the first guy, walks the second guy, gives up a double to the third guy, walks the fourth guy, catches the fifth guy looking, and jumps and it's like, dude, you got 1 out of 5 guys out.
I feel like there will be a lot of people and even players, maybe some coaches, that kind of roll their eyes and just walk back into the dugout. But at the same time, I don't know. You get sometimes, let the kids play, right? I mean, let the
kids play.
Let the kids play,
and then
let
some
them...
8-year-old's gonna do it in a little league game. And it's just gonna be
flip their bats mitts though, just like, when they stare down the dugouts and they wear their oven mitts.
And you wonder why there's no sportsmanship in athletics anymore.
I agree with that. I mean, I think the hitters do it too.
The thing is, and here the biggest scope of this is you can say, and I agree, at the highest level, it's an entertainment league. But then when it starts, you can't be mad when 8 to 10-year-olds do it. Because it's all the same. Like you can't pick and choose. You either like the celebrations or you don't. Yeah. If you don't want your 10-year-old doing it, or you get upset that some 10-year-old showed up your 10-year-old, it's like, well, you know what? Where are they watching it? It's coming from the top. I mean, some of these are pretty insane celebrations, but it's just what sports are now. It's more about I and less about team. That's kind of what it is. But in the entertainment league that the professionals are, it's supposed to be entertaining, but you can't really complain about college, high school, and youth doing it when that's what they see all the time. Because that's what people want. People want that.
I think it's a little better I actually think it's a little better that he's done it his whole career. It's just been his thing. And what the Dominican, it's not been as much of an issue or whatever. Yeah. But
hey, man, it's fun until you're watching as a fan and you're frustrated. Your team's losing by 10 runs and the guy's celebrating like he won the World Series. And then you're going to get 50 phone calls going like, what's with this dude?
It's going to hit different. Like you said, that scenario you said, or game like 132, it's going to hit different. Yeah. All right.
I don't want the game to be boring. I'm just saying, like, there's give and take to this. If you want to have it entertaining, it's great, but I want to hear people complain that their children are doing it and getting into fights.
Maybe he's going to be the magic charm and the Rockies are going to go on and have a huge run. And then they're going to make a bobblehead that's like mid-jump like that,
Maybe. Hey, you know what? If he wants to come in and strike out 114 in 75 innings, then do 114 jumps.
He also might not make the team. So I
like the swagger of guys that hit a home run, just run around the bases, and then when they have that big moment, then they show the emotion. But when you do it every single time, I think it takes away from the big moments.
I go both ways. I liked, who was it in the World Series? I think, was it Lindor? Someone who, I like the celebrations, but I also like sometimes when they just act like it's like just another Tuesday. I think Lindor ran the bases and it was like,
did that in the playoffs.
Nothing. Or maybe, exactly.
Right, he's getting booed and everything
they
like
both
that.
have their place, I think.
He had a big go-ahead home run. He just ran around like it was like no big deal. That's some serious swag right there.
Like Matt in the chat says, soon the biggest flex is going to be the stone cold walk away.
100%.
Exactly. Like you're just
it's badass. Guy hits a bomb, just walk. Yep.
Same as hitting a single.
Not yelling at his dugout, just jogging around the bases. I knew I was going to do that. I think that's more. I think you have more swag doing that than doing jumping jacks on the mound.
I want to see Jeffrey.
I think there's a place for both.
I want to see Jeffrey Yan try to strike out Jackson Merill and do that stuff.
Like remember when Juan Soto would do his, obviously we remember because he still does
shuffle.
It. And then the pitcher, who was the pitcher that was like mocking him and doing the same thing?
Oh,
there was a pitcher that would mock him and also every time through a strike would do the little, butt shuffle.
Are you talking about for Soto?
Yeah,
that was Marcus Stroman did his little deal
Stroman's struggling a little bit right now, but yeah, that was I don't mind that. Like if the hitter's going to do it, sometimes I think let the pitcher give it back a little.
All right, we're going to hear from Jackson Merill, who was on with Ben and Woods next after this timeout. Stay right there. It's your Padres Deep Dive Hour. Andy and Elsten on the Fan. 11:41 on the Fan. It's Annie and Elsten here with you. It's got to be one of their favorite weeks of every year. Ben and Woods going out to Padres spring training, getting the chance to set up on the back patio and chat with all of the stars of the team. It's a 3-day affair. Today was day number 2. Hope you caught most of the Ben and Woods show. Don't miss tomorrow either, because anyone they didn't get the first 2 days, they'll get tomorrow.
Yes.
Pretty much how it plays. But today they had a star-studded lineup, including Jackson Merill, who early in the morning came by the patio to chat with Ben and Woods, an interview you probably missed earlier today. Let's re-air it for you right now on Annie and Elsten.
Sitting down with us, getting ready for his second season with the San Diego Padres as a big leaguer, Jackson Merill. Jackson, we were just talking about last year we sat down with you at this time, and so much was unknown. Didn't even know if you're going to make the team at that point. You didn't know what position he was going to play or anything. Talk about the differences between last spring training and this spring training, at least in your mind, if there is any.
For me, no, I treat it the same. Got to make the team, got to break the team. Got to prove to them that I'm worthy of having the center field job, but also it is a little more relaxed, for me, not knowing what position I was playing last year to this year. I know what I'm doing. So, yeah, it's a little more relaxed, a little more tranquil than last year.
How was the off season for you? I talked to you at fantasy camp briefly, and you said you were really, really bored and you were ready to get back to it. Like after playing a lot of games, more baseball probably than you'd ever played in your life. What was your decompression time as opposed to your, all right, it's time to start running and lifting and hitting and all that again?
Yeah, so usually I get back to it pretty fast, but this year was different. This year I took a month to just kind of chill. I'd never played that many games before, never been on my feet so consistently like that. So I just kind of took a month to chill, and then after that it was go time. So I got my running in, lifts in as much as I possibly could. I went home back to Baltimore for a month, so it's obviously really cold outside. You don't really get to go outside that much, but for the most part I was here too. I've been here for 3 months now, so I'm really looking forward to getting these games going. Enjoyed my first 3, so I'm excited to keep going.
Yeah.
It's pretty remarkable how well you managed out in center field last year, considering it was a brand new position that you hadn't even been asked to play until spring training had already started. Where do you think you are now in terms of that development as an outfielder out in center field, and where do you think you can kind of take your game to defensively?
No, still learning a lot. But I think I've done a really good job to learn fast.
Yeah.
I feel like I pick up things kind of quick, and I just want to keep going. Do as much defense as possible, as much reads as possible, just get better in any way possible. If you were watching yesterday, apologize for the.
It was like one little.
Yeah, I never even done that before. Like
pop out and recatch it.
Literally never had that happen before in the infield or anywhere. I've always just caught it straight to the glove, and I looked it all the way in. It just popped out. So, I went home and I put a little softball in my glove and wrapped it up so the pocket's bigger now, so it doesn't pop out anymore. But I was like, oh.
You know what? I wouldn't have lost any sleep about it if I were you, man. I mean, the way that you played last year, I know that you had done an interview earlier in spring training talking about, you're working the walls a little bit better, getting up, maybe robbing a couple. That's always a fun feeling for a center fielder to do. Who have you kind of leaned on, on the team and maybe even around the league of guys that you've talked to that have kind of helped you with the position? Because it's essentially the same view-ish as shortstop, but it's certainly different, man. When that ball, these guys hit it really, really hard. I don't know if you're one of them, and it's spinning and it's knuckling and things like that. Have you leaned on some current big leaguers or ex big leaguers?
To be honest with you, I've kind of always, in my baseball career, even in the minors, no one really has come to me and tried to force me to learn stuff and controlled me of how I'm learning and adjusting stuff. They've always kind of just thrown it at me and let me see how I handle it.
Yeah.
It's always kind of just panned out. So when I got told to go to center, I didn't ask questions. I didn't say anything. I went to center and I started to learn as fast as possible. And obviously there's stuff about positioning and certain counts. What should I do in certain counts? 2 strikes, you should move it because, if 2 strikes, you're trying to shorten up and get a base hit rather than swing big. But other than that, no. I have been mainly just going at it on my own, and being athletic and having fun. Like I said last year a lot. It's just that's all I was trying to do out there was be athletic. Go catch the ball. If it's in the air, go catch it.
Is it a thing for you where you don't want to overthink? You don't want to get too much information. You don't want to get, I don't want to hear how this guy does it because then I might change change the way I do it.
Yeah, exactly. No, like I think just there's a different way about everybody playing center field.
Yeah.
You know, you see Jacob Young, you see Brenton Doyle, Gold Glove for Doyle this year. Like, you know, they just play it a different way. They also play in different stadiums too, so it's harder to ask them like, what they do, because like Colorado, the ball flies, you know, and then the Nats Park, it's a big park and it's a little different. The air is different than Petco. Like Petco, the ball gets hung up, so it's kind of easier to get underneath balls and catch balls.
Makes sense.
Jackson Merill is with us, and communication is obviously big in the outfield as well. You don't want to run into each other. You got Fernando now, a full season, has been next to you, but in left field, some new faces this year. What's been your interaction with? You got some veterans like Jason Hayward, Connor Joe's been out there. Got some younger guys. Eggy's played out there. We've seen Tirso Ornelas out there. I'm sure you played with some of these guys in the minor leagues before, but what have you seen from some of the left field candidates so far?
All of them are great. All of them got the ability to play in the big leagues. It's just a matter of which one's going to get the most playing time. And then I really like all the guys, Hayward, Sheets, and even Forrest Wall yesterday. Forrest Wall had an unreal game. Slept on. Single, gets a second, steals third. Obviously doesn't score, but then comes back later.
Home run. It's a bomb. Good
home run. He's here to play, and I think that's how everybody here, that's what they're here to do. Everybody's here to play and compete for a job. So
you play your first season, finish runner-up for Rookie of the Year, and I know, again, you said I don't care. I want to win a World Series. Getting as close as you did in your first year, you hear stories like this in baseball a lot. Like you make it your first year, and you make it pretty far in the playoffs, didn't end the way that you wanted to, and there's been a rash of players that say, I thought it was going to happen every single year. For you, have you thought about that, right? And how the season ended, and how long did that kind of take you to get over?
Once the season ended, it obviously sucked in the moment, but for me personally, I'm a guy that kind of gets over things faster than people. So when it ended, yeah, it sucks, and I'm going to be absolutely bored out of my mind for a week after that.
Did you watch much after?
Yeah, I watched it. I'm a baseball guy, so
that's fair.
I'm watching everything. But to be honest, it was in the past. That year's over. It's over with. You can't change it. There's nothing you can do. They beat us. That's what happened. So all you got to do is look forward to this year and look forward to what you can do in this season.
There's a phrase that people sometimes use for second year players. I don't even want to
say it. Do not say it.
I think you know what I've.
What
it is. Is there? I'm not worried about you at all. I've seen you play and how you bring it. I have no concerns about that. But is that something the team will address or anything like that? Or is there any truth to that in anyone's mind on a baseball field?
No, okay. Not at all. I mean, there was a time in the minors for a month that I struggled and it sucked, but I figured out a way to get out of it and figure out a way to mentally get through it. And I just it's baseball.
Yeah.
You're gonna suck at some points. You're going to. It's a part of it. But it's just how you can adjust and get out of those slumps. Last year, I was in slumps for weeks at a time, but it was I found it and I was out of it. And then I give a month rather than week good, week bad, week good, week bad.
We had Luis Ariz sitting down here yesterday. No one's better with the bat than he is, and he said something that I thought about all day. He said, "Baseball is really hard. Hitting is really hard. It's not impossible, but it's really
team meeting.
Really hard."
Did he?
Yeah, we were having a team hitting meeting. He's like, "I love hitting. I love hitting. I love hitting. But hitting is hard, but it's not impossible." We're like, so what are you trying to say here? He's like, hitting is hard, not for me, but hitting is hard. Thanks, guy. I also see he wrote 3-time batting champ underneath his signature on here.
Yeah, he did.
Wow. That boy Louis. What a guy.
So I'm not the only one who that made an impression on, apparently.
That was great. It was great. He's I love the thing I like about this team, and I think most teams need to be constructed this way. You can't have 9 guys in the lineup to swing the exact same. It's got to be different looks and got to be different ways to beat you. And when you look at the way the Padres lineup is constructed, they've moved you up a little bit in some spring training games. Is that something that you feel, number one, excited about, something that you want to happen? I know a lot of fans, it's every fan's dream to make out the lineup card. And boy, Schulte sure loves it when we give him our suggestions. He's a big fan of it. So, we all play that game in the offseason of, all right, coming into this year, you go Rise at the top, maybe Toddy, then maybe Merill in the 3. Is that something for you, moving up from 7 to 3, or do you care at all?
I really don't care where I'm at in the lineup. Obviously, I didn't care last year. I started at 9-hole, moved up 8, 7, kind of just moved up a spot at a time until I got to 5th and just kind of stayed there. But if I move to the 3-hole, yeah, good, great. If not, then I got to do my job in the 5 protecting somebody, In the 3-hole, you're protected. So, like, I got to walk. I got to, take more pitches and see more pitches, try to get a better pitch to hit every AB. But in the 5-hole, like, if I don't have as much protection, then I'm the one protecting Manny and Bogey.
Yeah.
So it really just depends on wherever they want to put me, wherever they think is best fit for the team.
You also get up more, though, when you're higher
That's
in the
true.
lineup.
Yeah, for sure. More RBI opportunities, too.
Yep.
It kind of, being at the 9-hole for the beginning of the year, it obviously took away a little bit of that. But, you make do with what you have. You can't complain about where you're at in the lineup if you're in the lineup.
Now, for you, we are, the media experts, and I use finger quotes, and I say that with my tongue firmly planted in my cheek. About midway through the season, we're looking at Jackson, and we're talking about, man, what's the ceiling for this guy, this season? I don't know. I mean, it'd be great if he hit 10, 12, double-digit home runs would be rad. And you go out and you throw 24 home runs up. And I know you didn't really change your approach at all. When you look at hitting 24 homers as a rookie, is it something you look at and go, yeah, I want to get 30, or do you just continue to try to hit the ball hard, good things will happen?
Yeah, try to hit doubles more than homers, because doubles are really important.
They're great.
It keeps the rally going. Homers are good, and they're obviously better than doubles, but
Sure.
they don't come by as much. You try to hit doubles, line drives, you're going to make out and hit a couple more homers than you think you are. But hitting more homers than I did last year comes with strength and age. Like, I'm only 21 still. I still have time to just kind of fill out, and I haven't yet. I don't really feel like I've gotten that, like, older, like, man strength in my body. Just waiting for it to come. A lot of flyouts that were deep to the warning track last year. So if I can get a little bit more extra strength, just by age, just by naturally putting on weight, those are going to go, and then it may turn into 30, like you said.
Yep. Last thing for me, Jackson, we talked a little bit about yesterday. It was written up in the paper about last Monday when you guys played, and you were done after whatever 4 innings, but you stuck around. The veterans, they usually leave, and you see them all carrying their bags and coming back here, but you stuck around with the other guys all the way through 9 innings. I don't know why it made such an impression on all of us as fans. I know you weren't doing it for eyewash or show or anything, but what's your rationale behind that? Just sitting there.
Certain games, there's certain games where, one, you have to read your body, but two, like, my boys are in there that I've played with in the minors when I was coming up, so it's cool to get that opportunity to watch them. But also, you can learn a few things if you just are chilling watching the game. If you're just locked into a game, you're better at counts. It's crazy, Freddie. It's crazy, Freddie. It's crazy.
Did he give it a little extra juice as he was driving by? I feel like he did.
He put it in gear.
Yeah, he did.
I don't even remember what I was saying.
Talking about being locked in, watching the game, being locked in with your boys.
So it's a good opportunity, especially when you go through a whole season. You don't even get to see some of those guys for the whole year. The 2 guys I live with right now, I didn't get to see the entire season last year. So, like, for me, it's just a better opportunity. It's just a good opportunity to see some more baseball.
Yeah, I love it.
Jackson, I really appreciate it. Obviously, you're number 2.
That was extremely funny, and Jackson Merill is extremely cool to have on this team.
Such an authentic dude. Loved the impression of Luis Ariz. That was awesome.
That's crazy, Freddie. That's crazy. 12 o'clock Sports Fix is coming up next. Hour number 3 of Annie and Elsten on The Fan. Presented proudly by the Craft Taco. Whether you're craving gourmet tacos for lunch or a craft beer for happy hour, the Craft Taco is the answer. Now open at the Natural History Museum in Balboa Park, as well as Sereno Valley. Welcome back, everybody. Third hour, Annie and Elsten program here with you. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Thank you. Annie Heilbrunn, Craig Elsten, Braden Suprenant, all in our Odyssey studios. Ready for hours 3 and 4, the Gwynn and Chris program coming your way at 2 o'clock. But right now, what's coming your way is all the sports news for Thursday, February 27th, 2025. The Fix begins. The Fix is in. Here's Annie.
All right, let's start with a little Padres news. Right-hander Reese Kinnear and the Padres have reportedly reunited on a minor league deal.
Reese back.
According to the minor league transactions log, it's up there.
Bring him home.
Kinnear is 28. He missed the 2024 season. He underwent Tommy John surgery in the previous summer. Before that, he was a depth arm for the Friars. Yes, so Reese Kinnear back.
You know, when he's in El Paso, he is Kinnear and yet so far away.
But up ching. Thank you.
He draws the foul.
Hand up. That's me.
And now on to a lot of random news. Veteran right-hander Jose Urena has popped up at Mets camp and told reporters that he signed a minor league deal with the club. He'll join their big league camp for the remainder of spring training. The 33-year-old adds some non-roster depth to a Mets rotation that's already been hit by a pair of spring injuries. Urena spent the 2024 season with the Rangers, working primarily out of the bullpen, but also making 9 starts over the course of the season. The Twins are in agreement with reliever Brady Feigl on a minor league contract. He's also in the transactions log. He'll head to AAA St. Paul to begin the season. Angel shortstop Zach Neto will not be ready for opening day. Manager Ron Washington announced to the Halos media this morning. Neto underwent shoulder surgery back in November, but Washington says that the 24-year-old shouldn't need to miss too much time beyond opening day. And in other injuries, Yankees right-handed reliever Scott Efros exited his Grapefruit League debut after one pitch due to what looked to be a leg injury. Manager Aaron Boone announced this morning that imaging has indeed revealed a notable injury, a grade 2 strain of the reliever's left hamstring. So he will also be facing at least a relatively lengthy absence, is what Boone said. He said, quote, "It's going to take some time." And that's all I have on the Major League Baseball beat.
Outstanding work.
Yeah.
Here's Braden with the call. I mean, listen,
Got a lot.
when Reese Kinnear's your headliner.
Yeah, hey, you know.
This is where we're at, guys.
We got some NFL news. Travis Kelce plans to play in the 2025 season. Pat McAfee confirmed Thursday with the Chiefs star tight end. McAfee read a text from Kelce on the Pat McAfee show on Thursday.
Okay.
I'm coming back for sure. Going to try to get into the best shape I've been this offseason and get back to the mountaintop. Kelce wrote in the text, got a real bad taste in my mouth with how I played in that last game and with how I got the guys ready for battle. I can't go out like that. 4 exclamation points. So Kelce's back. There's that. Cool.
All right.
He didn't really play very well.
I didn't think
last
He
year.
did not play well.
back.
He didn't.
He didn't play
Were
well
you
all
focused,
season.
Travis, were you?
Were you focused?
Were you focused?
He's going to be refocused.
Best shape of his life.
He was probably in the worst shape last year.
Is
Anyway,
that kind of an implicit admission of that when you say a month after I'm going to be in the best shape next year that you were not in the best shape?
that you were
this year?
not in shape. Yes,
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah, it's
so.
the opposite. Exactly.
Conference realignment news. No, nobody's moving yet. But the Mountain West, the Pac-12, along with Boise State, Colorado State, and Utah State, no San Diego State in this, have agreed to enter mediation related to the ongoing lawsuits related to school exit fees and a poaching penalty the Mountain West included in a scheduling agreement with the Pac-12, sources told ESPN. It is a common step that could lead to settlements before the sides take their chances in court. However, a source told ESPN that as of Wednesday evening, it was an informal agreement. The Mountain West initiated the talks, the source said. In September, the Pac-12 filed a lawsuit in federal court challenging the legality of a poaching penalty included in a football scheduling agreement it signed with the Mountain West in December 2023. As part of the agreement, Mountain West included language that calls for the Pac-12 to pay a fee of $10 million if a school left the Mountain West for the Pac-12 with escalators of $500,000 for each additional school. 5 schools, Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, Utah State, San Diego State, all the states, announced they were leaving the Mountain West for the Pac-12 in 2026, which the Mountain West believes should require a $55 million payout from the Pac-12. In December, Colorado State and Utah State filed a separate lawsuit against the Mountain West, seeking to avoid having to pay exit fees that could range from $19 million to $38 million, with Boise State later joining the lawsuit. Neither Fresno nor San Diego State has challenged the Mountain West exit fees in court, which makes me feel like the Aztecs knew what they were doing. They're going to pay and they're going to leave.
Yeah.
But interesting to say the least. Mountain West signed an agreement. It's like, okay, we're going to help you out, Washington State and Oregon State, because you're left with 2 teams in your conference. Let's get a scheduling agreement together, but don't steal our teams. Okay, great. But if you do steal our teams, you got to pay us money. Okay, great. One season happens, they steal 5 teams, and now the Pac-12 is upset that they have to pay money.
Oh, geez.
In this written agreement that they agreed upon to have the schedule.
Yeah, if you have the written agreement and you signed it.
Now we're going to
really
sue saying, yeah, now we're going to sue saying it's not fair. I don't feel bad for the Pac-12.
Well,
I don't
like
know.
to sue.
No, I don't feel bad either.
You signed an agreement that said you can play with the Mountain West and we'll give you games for 1 year.
But don't do this thing.
But just don't take our schools right after.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did.
That's all they did.
Yeah.
And then they did the same thing with the West Coast Conference, right? Because they only joined the Mountain West for football. So then they go to the West Coast Conference for all their other sports, minus Oregon State and baseball, because they're just really good. They're going to be independent, or they're independent right now. And you know what they did? They stole Gonzaga.
Yes,
They're just jumping into conferences as they got the charitable act from the West Coast Conference and the Mountain West. They go into the conference and then they take the best teams out of the conference with them. And they complain about USC and UCLA. You live. The problem. What's that saying from The Dark Knight? You live long enough to become the villain or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Die a hero or live long enough to
die a
become
hero or live long enough to become the villain. In Washington State and Oregon State have now technically turned into what they hate.
Right. Yes.
In essence. So that's fun stuff.
I have become the thing that I despise.
We had some fun last night, college basketball.
Whoa. Some open mouths. What's going on here?
We got Maryland and Michigan State. 55 all. Look at Scott Van Pelt. He's fired up.
Jeez.
Fired up.
SVP, settle in.
Home game in Maryland. Michigan State and Maryland. 55-55 with 42 seconds left. And we had a phenomenal finish to the game. Here is the final minutes, final 6 seconds. Maryland and Michigan State. Maryland 16 in the country. Michigan State is 8 in the country. Here's Fox Sports 1.
Gotta go.
Big time.
Gillespie for 3. Goal or no. Holloman looks the clock. Half court for the win. Bang! Oh my goodness! Holloman from half court to win it on the road.
Where's SVP?
No longer. Maybe that's what he was screaming in anger.
That was performing.
That is crazy.
Look at all the surrender cobras. So many surrender cobras.
Shock.
Complete disbelief.
Unbelievable
Mid-court.
finish.
Wow.
Here's Scott Van Pelt.
Where?
His tweet. What a shot. I have to go to work now. Ha ha ha. Cool. Poor SVP.
That's funny.
Michigan State goes on to win 58-55 in what was a phenomenal finish to a college basketball game. Last night, that's it for the college deal. Big West action tonight as UC San Diego will be up to take on Cal State Northridge. And the USD Toreros will be in Pullman for the first time in 50 years, taking on Washington State.
Nice.
Before they poach Gonzaga and start their own conference. But, I digress with that. Here's Craig.
So when you said surrender cobra, is that this? Like
that's the surrender cobra, yeah.
When your
that's like the funniest thing. Yeah, so every time you see that.
Okay.
Because it's like a cobra's head, right? Because your arms are like the cobra's head.
It's surrender cobra
fanning out.
is what like it's the traditional fans upset like they lost.
I'd never heard that.
Yeah, surrender cobra.
Either. Yeah.
That was like half of the state of Maryland last night.
Yeah,
when that shot went in, and Scott Van Pelt. Do I need to play the Scott Van Pelt on loop again?
No, stop it. No, don't do that.
Yeah, no, I'm done. Yeah.
Scott was fired up
once, but not
hey,
20
I'm sorry,
times.
it's 4 seconds and it takes a little bit to flip the videos.
Started to feel like a fever dream. Just a little
Scott Van
bit.
Pelt, who I absolutely think is amazing and awesome. He also could look like Voldemort sometimes from
Screaming
from Harry Potter. Yeah, screaming. Like like if you put him in makeup and costume, he could do that. He could do that for Halloween.
Or the zombie from I Am Legend.
Exactly. If you catch him in the right pose. So
not fake Scott Van Pelt.
Alrighty then. Last night at Snapdragon Stadium, here's one thing we haven't talked about all show. U.S. women's national team was here. We had Lindsey Horan on a couple months or a month ago. By the way, she changed her jersey now. It now says Heaps. So
that's cool.
Yeah, she's Lindsey Horan Heaps, but it says Heaps on the back of the kit. Well, she was at Snapdragon Stadium along with most of the U.S. women's national team, not all of their stars. They battled Japan in the final of the She Believes Cup last night. Toko Koga's goal in the 50th minute was the difference, a 2-1 win for Japan. U.S. played without several of their key contributors, especially on offense, and including Trinity Rodman. Ali Sentner scored for the United States on an assist from Torrey Pines graduate Katerina Macario.
She also, Lindsey Heaps, an article just 2 days ago said she'd maybe like to play for the Denver NWSL expansion team, where her family is all from and lives.
Lindsay, we already established this.
Craig's not a good recruiter, apparently.
No,
You're coming to
I
wave,
can't blame
Lindsay.
her. Denver's not that far from San Diego. They can fly easily.
It's like a 2.5 flight.
It'd be cool if she played in San Diego, but her whole family's in Denver.
Except for her husband, who lives in San Diego.
Yeah.
You know what's closer than Denver to San Diego? San Diego.
That's a good point.
Angel City's close.
We'll see. Maybe this is a negotiation tactic to get the wave.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Their pursuit. Okay.
Come on, Lindsay. Come on home.
We got to work on your recruiting skills there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a very brief attempt. It was just one question on a radio.
Hey, you know
show.
what? Sometimes you got 2 minutes.
It's true.
You got to make the most of it.
We
got to get your elevator pitch. You had your elevator pitch.
Yeah.
Didn't wow her enough.
We'll
work on it.
I think Tyler's got an inside track better than me.
It's obviously not working for him either.
Not yet. Yeah, what does he have to say? Well, I might go play in Denver. Lindsay, come here. You can't stop the San Diego Gulls. You can only hope to contain them, and you pretty much can't contain them right now either. Last night at Pechanga Arena, newly called up goaltender Ville Husso made 34 saves, picked up a shutout. Gulls beat Calgary 4-0. That's San Diego's 7th straight win. Win streak is the longest for the club since the 2020-21 season.
Good for them.
Absolutely.
For them is red.
Justin Bailey scored 4 seconds into the second period on a power play goal, tied for the fastest goal in a period in the history of the league. That was all the Gulls would need, but they added 1 more in the second and 2 more in the third. Club hosts Coachella Valley on Friday night, Bakersfield on Saturday night. They're creeping ever closer to trying to get into a playoff position. Tonight is match night for the San Diego Mojo. Mojo might want to just drift over to Pechanga and try and steal the mojo of the Gulls for a second, because San Diego Mojo going in the wrong direction. They have dropped 6 in a row. They host Grand Rapids Rise tonight, 7 p.m. at Viejas Arena. Mojo are now 3-8 on the season, but it is a lengthy season. It's a 28-match season, so still plenty of time to turn the campaign around. First 1,000 fans tonight at Viejas Arena get a blue Mojo basketball-style jersey.
That's cool.
Yeah, so check it out. They've got a home game on Saturday as well, but rooting for the Mojo to snap the losing streak tonight against Grand Rapids. Also tonight, San Diego Clippers host Indiana at Front Wave Arena for a 7 p.m. G League tip-off. Over to the NBA, where Greg Popovich has told the San Antonio Spurs players that he will not return to the sideline this season. Of course, he suffered a stroke in November. Interim coach Mitch Johnson has been running the team all year. There was some thought once Popovich was told that he would have a complete recovery, that he would come back this season.
Now Wemby's out for the year with the blood clot in his shoulder. Spurs are kind of drifting a little bit. And Popovich says he's not going to be back all year. He is 76. His coaching future does remain in doubt, although he is expected to make a complete recovery from the stroke. On the court last night, the Clippers snapped a 3-game losing streak. They beat Chicago in Chicago, 122-117. Tonight, Minnesota Timberwolves are in L.A. to take on the Lakers at Crypto.com Arena. Last night in the NHL, Canucks picked up a 3-2 overtime win over the LA Kings, while our beloved Winnipeg Jets ran their winning streak to 11 in a row. Wow.
He draws the foul.
Your Jets.
My beloved.
Not we.
Our beloved Winnipeg.
We are not involved. This is just you.
Well, anyways, 4-1 win at Ottawa. Dang, Winnipeg, red hot. Tonight, the Alex Ovechkin watch is back on. Washington hosting St. Louis. Ovi 12 goals away from Wayne Gretzky on the all-time list. Vancouver moves along. They will take on the Ducks at Honda Center tonight. And that's it for the 12 o'clock Sports Fix for Thursday, February 27th, 2025.
At the pond.
Multiple people have been asking, is today's spring training game being webcast anywhere?
Now I know why the lineup looks like it does. Because they're playing the Athletics, and the Athletics have the farthest ballpark from Peoria.
Right.
It's the longest drive for players, 45 minutes, something like that. So you're not going to get a whole lot of buy-in to this game. Okay.
No, you
And
won't.
it's also not being videoed.
Correct. Audio presentation only.
Yeah. On you can do that on the like MLB area app.
Or you can just put up the little game day thing and have
and we'll just let you
little
know how it's
graphics.
going. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Padres
Keep it
went down in order against Luis
Mhm.
Severino in the top of the first inning, and Matt Waldron has retired the first two he has faced, including striking out all-star Brent Rooker. And we are underway with the Padres and the A's. Mesa, so that is the former home of the Cubs, the venerable and popular Hohokam Park, one of the most famous spring training ballparks in the Cactus League. Hohokam Park. Very nice park.
It's pretty beautiful from what
It's gorgeous, yeah.
What I've seen.
And Cubs used to sell it out every single, and I forget where they moved.
Yeah, they just moved
idea.
recently.
Yeah, but they moved out of Hohokam Park. But like that was a whole thing. Like all the neighborhood around was all built around Cubs culture.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I remember going there
Yeah.
in like 01, 02.
Yeah.
And I know it's been a little while, but I doubt that A's culture is on every corner.
No, I mean, like when I go through the Starbucks in Peoria and stuff, like you see the Mariners flag and you see the Padres flag, and like you see it at like different places around in Peoria. But that sounds pretty cool what you're talking about with the Cubs.
Cubs were the Sloan Park,
Okay.
which is in it's in Mesa still. They just moved down the street.
All right. Someone built him a new ballpark.
Mesa Grande.
They took care of it. Then the A's, which used to play in the most rundown ballpark.
Those A's, man.
Yeah, they played in a municipal stadium in Phoenix that was like 60 years old.
I'm going to blame,
John Fisher?
Thank you. Yeah.
You can blame him for everything. I mean, that was
I
the
just
part.
will.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
you should.
Yeah, it's a far drive, Peoria to
Yeah, again, any player who's played in the Grapefruit League will tell you that the Cactus League is a million times better because they just don't have very far to go. But that's the farthest one,
Don't have to
about
go down
40 minutes. But yeah, in Florida, you're on buses for hours at
yeah.
a time,
Don't have to-
hours every day. It
Don't-
stinks.
don't have to go down to Tucson anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That would have sucked. It's just kind of like split in half, or half the teams are Glendale West and the other half are Phoenix East.
Yeah, which sometimes the traffic,
traffic in
in
Phoenix
Arizona
is
can really
rough.
stink. Yeah.
When we come back, some more spring training coverage. Plus, Ha-Sung Kim thought he was being robbed. Came to the door ready
This is
to
so funny.
choose violence.
With a baseball bat in his hand.
We will reveal what the surprise was when the door opened. When we come back, a fun segment, and then Fast Money before the hour is up with a chance to qualify to go see Motley Crue in Las Vegas. It's Annie and Elsten, your midday hang on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Don't forget to stay tuned. Coming up in 35 minutes at 1 p.m., we will announce today's biggest fan with a chance to qualify for a night in our Odyssey suite at a future Padres game. Register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan. And maybe you'll hear your name called sometime between now and the end of spring training. Good luck to everybody. Always appreciate all you manifestors in the chat.
Yep.
We'll see whose name pops up at 1 o'clock. I don't know till Braden pastes it into the document. So can't help you out. 1 o'clock, I'll know. And then we'll read that for you coming up. Update from Ho-Ho-Cam Park. You know, sometimes when you're doing this business, you cast spells and then you wonder, like, dang, why can't I do that all the time? Because I would be cynical and make a lot of money. We just talked to Annie about who's Trenton Brooks. We forgot.
Yes.
Little reminder class, Pride of Alpine, Granite Hills High School. Oh, yeah, that's right. We signed him in a minor. Boom, gone, home run. Trenton Brooks.
Making sure we do not forget his name. Good start for Trenton Brooks.
I love it. Good on you, man. Good on you. Appreciate it. Luis Severino serving up the yard ball for the Sacramento Athletics. 1-0 is the score right now. Matt Waldron just about to get ready for his second inning of work after pitching a perfect first inning, including a strikeout. Well done there. Well done all the way around. We have not presented the Daily Schilt yet. Braden, it occurs to me.
We have not.
Let's do that.
Do we have
stuff
today?
Check.
They left super early today to get to Ho-Ho-Cam.
Maybe, hang on. Maybe there is no Daily Schilt. There is no Daily Schilt.
No Daily Schilt. That's why we haven't done it yet.
The Daily Schilt is canceled.
These are the weeks we are in. We are in these weeks. They are just sort of not Groundhog Day, but just sort of, they're very, you know, when you're like in class and you just have to get your work done. It's like that. Like,
grinding.
Yeah. You're just grinding.
Workmanlike.
Workmanlike. Exactly. Like you're just, doing what needs to be done.
Well, I'll tell you what, in the interim, seeing as we don't have the Daily Schilt, what we do have is some more content from what Ben and Woods were able to put together this morning, including Dylan Cease. He was a late drop by to the boys, and we're going to go right toward, I just dropped a link in at 12:20 there, Braden, to one of his comments when he was asked by Ben about pitching on 3 days rest in the playoffs. And, all the talk we've had around, certainly I said plenty about it, still am against it in general against it. But, hearing it from the man himself in terms of how he felt that day and his thoughts on when he pitched on 3 days rest. Here we go.
Kept the entire baseball insider industry afloat this offseason.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wake up every single day. Last
two.
John Heyman and Ken Rosenthal tweets and Jeff Bass. Hey, the Mets have called. The Boston Red Sox are talking to H.A. Preller about Dylan Cease.
We were worried sick, man. That's what we were.
How do you handle that? I mean, in some ways, it's a compliment, obviously, but it also brings a lot of uncertainty into the equation. What has this offseason been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I usually just I feel my best when I just focus on what I have to do to prepare. Because at the end of the day, I want to be a good player and I want to execute pitches and I want to win. So focusing on all that stuff is sort of irrelevant. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be playing baseball. And yeah, maybe there's a question of where, but I guess I feel grateful to be with the Padres. So it's like there's not any hard feelings. I'm just happy to be here. And if they trade me, then I go somewhere else and I give them all there. Really, it's pretty simple.
Fair enough. So I was thinking the quote was going to be one thing based on the caption on Twitter, and it turned out to be another thing, which is all good and cool. But I did hear that part of it, Annie, and I was actually very interested in his answer because he said he didn't feel his command was good in game one of the division series, which you remember he gave a big homer to Ohtani. He didn't like the way he was commanding his pitches that day. When he came back to Petco for game 4 on 3 days rest, he said he really liked how the ball was coming out of his hand. He was throwing 99. He liked his command that day. And the thing he said, which I thought was very interesting, is, hey, sometimes you get beat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the truth. And like, we always want to assign a higher meaning or find a strategy. Well, if you had done this or done that. And sometimes you're just going to lose. And that's what happened that day for Dylan Cease.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And the Padres didn't score. The Padres couldn't push any runs across. Right. So, I mean, for Dylan Cease, yeah. I mean, look, I think they wanted him to pitch on 3 days rest. He went out and he did that. And, you know, that's what they asked him to do. And that's what he did. And I think that he was excited for the challenge and wanting to be there for his team. But he's absolutely right. I mean, sometimes you just can't help what the outcome is. And hopefully you prepare for it the best way you know how and you come ready for it. But I think that's what he did. And it just didn't work out.
And maybe next time it does. But, you know, the point being that just because you lose one time, it doesn't mean you'll lose every single time.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
right.
It's the old phrase, go get them next time. And a lot of times in both the media world and the fan world, that's not good enough for us. We need something else. We need a scalp. We need a head. We need an answer. And sometimes it's as simple as I tried and I failed.
Yeah. I mean, they have to look at it and say, did I do everything I could to prepare? Did I put my all out there on the field? And if you did that and the outcome still didn't work out, then it just didn't work out.
I hear you. We got one more here before we go to break from Jason Hayward. We can't play we don't have enough time to play these full interviews today on Annie and Elsten, but we can at least give you a little sample of it as the J. Hay Kid came by and chatted with Ben and Woods this morning on the back patio as well. The tweet says about his leadership role with the Cubs and coming over to the Padres, but let's just hear it all together.
I remember after the parade that morning in Chicago, we go straight from the float, go somewhere to get lunch, walk in a restaurant. The restaurant gets up from one side. Everyone goes over to the other side by the bar. Everyone.
The C's parted.
The C's parted. No one says anything. They get up, look at us, go to the other side and say, hey, you guys go sit over here. You got it.
Come on.
You know, quick applause. And then, no, like, you guys go have that moment. No one came over there and bothered. No one came over there and bothered us. Of course, the people, you know, the waiters, waitresses, everything, make sure we had a great experience. But that was the beginning of seeing the appreciation and the generations of people who said, like, thank you guys for getting this done for us. I remember after the...
That's great.
Yeah, what a cool moment. I mean, in Chicago, we all know the story with Chicago and how long they waited for that World Series championship and just the way the fans craved it. And you can make the similarities here in San Diego as well. But for Jason Hayward, he gave that speech during that rainy Game 7 and that impassioned speech and is credited for a big reason for why the Cubs won.
Good stuff. You can find the full interviews on our 973thefansd.com website. You can find links to them on our social media as well. And coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, we will play the full interview when Michael King dropped by with Ben and Woods earlier this morning. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for our third full day of Ben and Woods live at Padres Spring Training in Peoria. When we come back, it's time for Silly Games. Each day, we give you an opportunity to try and qualify for a Vegas grand prize drawing. This month, it's to go see Motley Crue and their new Las Vegas residency in April or March, and a chance as well to stay at the swanky hotel known as Park MGM. All you got to do today is win fast money, the bonus round in the Family Feud game show where you're going to take on either Annie or myself, your choice, to try and match the number one answers given by a recent studio audience here to the Annie and Elsten show. So let's open up the phone lines right now. Lines are open. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We need one contestant today to play Fast Money. We'll take a timeout. Braden will screen up some contestants. When we come back, we'll play Silly Games. It's Annie and Elsten, San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Motley Crue just announced a brand new Las Vegas residency at Dolby Live at Park MGM, March 28th to April 19th. Now's your chance to win a trip to Vegas to see the show live, including 2 tickets to the show, plus a hotel stay at Park MGM. You can get your tickets to Motley Crue, the Las Vegas residency at Dolby Live at Park MGM now at Ticketmaster.com. A lot of at. But we got there, and we have arrived at Silly Games for February 27th, our 4th of 4 different games that we rotate each week. It's time to play Fast Money. Here we go. It's the bonus round to the Family Feud game show. It's Fast Money on Annie and Elsten. We asked you to call at 833-288-0973. You did. Some of you did. Jacob in Point Loma did. Jacob is today's contestant. Hello, Jacob.
Oh, no.
What happened?
He went away.
He gone?
He gone.
All right. Well,
okay. Well, moving on.
Sounds like it's Caesar in San Diego's time.
Sure does. Hey, that's why you stay on hold, Caesar. Hi, Caesar.
Hello?
Caesar, you're today's contestant on Fast Money. How are you?
Oh, hell yeah. Awesome.
We're glad to have you here, almost as glad as you are to be here. Before we play, though, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Engineering student out of SDSU.
Nice.
Perfect.
You're a Padres fan?
Almost everyone says they're a big Padres fan. Are you a big Padres fan, Caesar?
Of course.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it goes without saying, is what he's trying to say to you.
Yeah, that's implied. Come on.
Yeah,
Of
no
course it
cap.
is.
No cap.
Yeah, no cap.
Jeez, Eddie. All right. Caesar, here's how the game's played. Annie just picked up a foul, but that's beside the point. The game will begin with a decision by yourself. Caesar, you will choose whether to play myself or to play Annie. Whichever host you choose will leave the room, be unable to hear what's going on in here, as our resident Richard Dawson, Braden Suprenant, is waiting with 5 questions for you. He has polled a recent studio audience here for Annie and Elsten to look for their most popular answer to these pop culture questions. You'll be looking for that best answer. Then the host you choose to play will come back into the studio, being unaware of any of the answers you give, but being unable to use any of the answers you give. It's a little bit of an advantage to yourself. We'll have the same survey, and then Braden will count up the scores. And when we're done, if you've tied or beaten the host, you are qualified, and you're in the drawing to go to Vegas and see Motley Crue. Any questions?
Nope.
Who would you like to play, Caesar, Craig, or Annie?
Who hasn't gone in a while? I'll play them.
Okay, well, let's see.
I don't think Craig's played Fast Money in a while.
Sounds like it's me then. All right, Caesar, I'm going to hand over the scoreboard to Annie.
All righty.
And I'm out of here.
All right.
I mean, I'm more fun, but okay, go ahead.
Wow. This one's a little bit more edgy, too, so.
Yeah. Gonna miss out on my answers.
Might
but okay.
rattle it. Well, you can give your own answers if
That's
you want.
true.
Question number 1, Caesar. Tell me one specific thing that little kids get sent to their room for more than any other.
Being too loud.
Too loud.
Being too loud. Okay. That's
Okay.
good.
All right.
Okay.
We're gonna
we
give
good?
him- we're gonna give him
We're all
this.
right? All right.
If you're arrested, all right. No, that's not the one I wanted to do.
Uh-oh.
No, I went too far. All right.
Reverse.
We're gonna start over.
Okay.
That was not the one I wanted to do. Name an animal you wouldn't kiss on the lips for any money.
Ooh.
Oof. Hello?
Hello?
We're here.
Hello? Camel.
Camel.
Camel. Okay.
All right. That's an interesting pick. In your nightmares, name a place that you suddenly discover you're naked.
All right, what was that?
In your
it's
nightmares.
suddenly
Yeah, name a place that you suddenly discover you're naked.
Ooh, on stage, like a talent show.
Yeah.
On stage.
All right, Caesar, you're doing well. Let's keep it going.
Name a phrase or expression with the word dirty in it.
Dirty dog.
Dirty dog, he says. All right. Name a food that comes in the shape of a ring.
Onion ring.
Onion.
Onion rings.
Onions.
Caesar, I like your answers. I don't know if you're going to win, but I like your answers.
Name a breed of
Oh,
horse.
you're not done. A breed of horse.
Yes.
Breed of horse. The Clydesdale.
Clydesdale.
yeah.
Wow. And that'll do it. You can bring in
Okay.
Craig now.
All right. Time for Craig.
We had to start over, Craig, because I looked at the wrong ones first.
Oh,
I read one. I was like, I didn't
wonder
want
what was going on.
I didn't want to do that one, so we had to scratch it and start over.
It's
So,
all right. I was distracted out there because.
so you're working on your golf swing. That was
Well, I
cool.
was working on that, and then Adam and Scraby got into a tiff.
Oh,
About what?
nice.
I don't know. Adam was suggesting something. Scraby was resisting. Adam goes, "Just keep on turning down things I'm suggesting."
Did you say don't talk during my backswing?
I didn't have to because it was a fake backswing. All right, what do we got?
Name an animal you wouldn't kiss on the lips for any money.
Porcupine.
A porcupine. Yeah. It's a good answer, but
Wait, Braden, we're not doing the kid to the room.
no, we're not.
Okay, got
That's why I
it.
said start over, scratch it.
Got it. Okay.
In your nightmares, name a place that you would suddenly discover you're naked.
School.
School.
Mm.
Great answer. Name a phrase or expression with the word dirty in it.
Dirty laundry.
Dirty laundry. Name a food that comes in the shape of a ring.
A donut.
Donut.
That
Yep.
wasn't used? Wow.
No. You'll understand why.
I feel like I'm on a roll.
Name a breed of horse.
Shetland.
Oh, wow.
Shetland? How do you spell that?
SHET.
It's definitely not in the West.
LAND.
Yeah.
A Shetland pony.
Shetland pony's
Can't
gonna
wait
get
to
you
home to my Shetland
gonna
pony.
get you a 0, big dog. All right, well, that's it.
Yeah, I guess I should have gone with a Clydesdale.
No, well, that
No,
would have
you
been
couldn't
a
I actually don't
try
know
again.
either. Breed of horse. So.
Mustang.
Shetland's probably pretty good. Oh, Mustang. Well, you know that because your car.
I drive a Camaro,
Yeah.
so don't.
Oh, oops. Well, whatever.
Stallion,
Okay.
thoroughbred,
Oh, stallion.
Palomino, Pinto.
Black Beauty.
Black Beauty's not on there, so
What
All
about
right.
seahorse or whatever?
a seahorse.
No,
I mean,
yeah, seahorse, but no,
it's not an actual horse.
sea change, like the racehorse, like sea
Sea
something.
biscuit?
Sea biscuit. That would be a name.
That's the
Okay.
name
Not
of
really a
horse.
breed.
Well, that's all I know is names of horses.
Fair enough.
Thoroughbred would probably be the one that came to mind.
All right.
All
right.
Let's see how this goes.
Name an animal you wouldn't kiss on the lips for any money. Caesar said a camel.
All right.
Oh no, Caesar.
Craig said a porcupine.
I don't know if Caesar. Yeah.
Zero.
Okay, you guys are fine.
Number one answer was snake.
I was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
going to say
snake for
snake.
sure.
Snake,
Yeah.
tiger, alligator, hippo, pig, bear, monkey, cow.
Mm,
Mr. Cow. No kisses for
Mr.
you.
Cow.
Oh, man.
Bummer. In your nightmares, name a place that you suddenly discover you're naked, Caesar said.
Annie.
On stage. Like talent show, like on stage, on a stage.
0.
Really? There's 0 for that?
Wow.
0.
Caesar,
Craig
I'm in
said-
your corner.
Craig
Oh,
said
sorry. Craig said school.
School,
No, I
you-
want to do this part. Yeah.
falling asleep. 17
Okay.
points for Craig.
All right.
17.
He's up
okay.
17 nothing. Number one
Yeah.
answer was work, followed by school, park, church, middle of the
Yeah.
street, store.
Okay.
Okay.
Name a phrase or expression with the word dirty in it. Caesar said,
Dirty dog.
dirty dog.
You dirty dog.
0.
Dang. Caesar, I'm still in your corner. I think that was a good answer.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
3 zeros to start off.
Yeah.
Getting shut out on Craig's pitching right now. Craig said dirty laundry.
Mm-hmm.
Number one answer. 29 points.
Oh,
There we go.
boy.
Comfortable lead.
We got to get Caesar to have comeback season
Well,
right
you
now.
know, I've got no points coming in answer 5. So
Yes.
Correct.
still got a chance.
Name a food that comes in the shape of a ring. Caesar said
Onion rings.
number one answer. 27
Really?
points.
How
Yeah.
much?
27.
Oh, good for
I
you,
thought
Caesar.
donuts would be number one
I
answer.
actually did too.
Craig said
Donut.
number 2 answer. 19.
Okay.
Onions, donut, Cheerios,
Oh yeah, Cheerios.
hamburger.
is not.
That's a circle.
That's
not a ring.
not a ring.
That's solid.
Pancakes, not a ring.
That's a patty.
yeah.
Pizza, not a ring.
No.
Cookies,
Pizza.
not a ring.
Need a
Unless
hole
it's a
in the middle
Samoa.
for a ring.
Lifesavers, ring.
Lifesavers.
Only one
yeah.
person said lifesavers.
Where are you getting your studio audience, Braden?
Ask them outside.
Yeah.
There they are.
There we are.
They,
Ask Adam and JR. They're the ones out there punching
Oh,
tickets
wait.
every day.
That's
Oh, wait,
right.
they heard what you said, Annie.
Oh,
They're
man.
upset with you now.
Settle down out there.
Settle down.
Tomatoes being thrown at me.
Go back to your shanties.
All right, where are we?
Name a breed of horse.
Hamburger rings. Clydesdale.
15 points.
Oh, I thought that would have been number 1.
That gives Caesar 42.
42.
Okay.
I don't know if that's
How
going to
many
be
do I
enough.
have?
0 for the Shetland horse. 65-42 winner for Craig today.
Oh, Caesar.
Sorry about it, Caesar.
I enjoyed your answers, though. And I
Num-
bet you're going to be a really good engineer and make more money than all of us someday. So
Absolutely.
have that in the back of your head, you know?
Mustang Stallion, Clydesdale Thoroughbred, Palomino Pinto. What were your
Wow.
answers, Annie?
I already forgot, like, what these questions were. Like, wait, huh? What?
The eraser comes out.
Yeah,
and it's
I've already
over.
erased the board.
It's
She
done.
Like,
flushed it.
Yeah,
She
it's
knows how to
flushed.
flush it. It's flushed.
I do like what Anthony Sandoval said in the chat, which is y'all never had hamburger rings.
I mean, they have those, but
Do
the
they
fact
really?
you can make like a hamburger into a ring. But
That
If
sounds
you
like a
took the
Texas
middle
thing.
out of it.
have you had a pizza? It's not a Texas thing.
Sounds like
I've
a
seen. You know what I've
Texas thing.
seen? I've seen like a hamburger that's like
When
an
is
onion
pizza
ring
in
thing.
a ring?
It's never.
Never.
Yeah.
It's a circle.
Solid.
I feel like you can make a lot of those things into a ring
yeah,
shape,
if
but
you-
that doesn't mean they're a ring food.
Doesn't mean they should be a ring.
No.
And have a hole in the center.
Onions and donuts are great first answer. Lifesavers, great.
All the rest are nonsense.
Cookie,
Mhm.
really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know like a Samoa's a ring and like a fudge stripe from Keebler,
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
there's
those are
like
the-
two cookies that have
but
a ring-like
still,
quality.
I guess Nate Taylor would be correct. That would be the most ring thing, right?
Yeah, ring
A
pop.
ring pop,
pop.
which
Yeah.
Anthony Sandoval, pizza bagels are technically ring shaped. That would be a bagel.
Yeah.
Bagel's not on
why
there
isn't bagel on the board?
because your studio audience didn't think it was a ring.
Bagel seems like a very obvious answer. Although I didn't think of it till you just
You
said
know, a lot of
True.
bagels that hole kind of gets closed up because they're all puffy.
It's still more of a ring than a pizza
yeah, I mean, absolutely.
and a
Yeah.
cookie.
or a hamburger.
always-
The
It's still a
hamburger.
hole,
You know
an
what?
open
The
hole.
best part of the burger's in the middle. Why would you want to take that part out?
Yeah.
Why would you want to just eat around the edges? The best part is in the middle. How many people said that?
I celebrate the entire burger.
That's right.
I'm hungry right now, thanks to all this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
On this lunchtime.
You're out of luck.
Should I get a
Bagel,
burger
yeah.
today?
You could deliver
You
yourself
go to Freddy's
something.
if you want.
Nah, it's way too expensive.
Well,
All right. Silly game is over. Caesar, sorry. For everyone else, you're welcome because there's only one more chance to add somebody to the hopper, which is tomorrow on Mind the Gap. I will try. Anthony says I proposed with a pizza ring. She said no.
Should have been a donut ring, dude.
Yeah.
Should have been a donut.
you'll find her out there somewhere, though, Anthony. You keep trying, okay?
The pizza ring girl will say yes.
Yes,
You're down on
She's
one
out there.
knee, opening up the pizza box.
she's out there.
Are those mushrooms on there? Gross. No.
Mhm.
Combo, honey. It's combo.
No, is it pineapple on the
Let
pizza?
us be a combo
Got
for
you
the rest of our lives.
Got you the meat lovers. Good stuff.
Oh boy.
Poor Caesar started out 0-3.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
rough.
Now it's a rough start.
rough
I thought
go.
he might get.
I get the first
I
ever
thought he was gonna get shut out for a second. I was waiting for the
clean sheet.
softball term. Nobody shuts us out.
Oh man.
I mean, if he would have said pizza, he would have got an answer, I guess. But he got the onions. Good thing he picked onions.
Little bit. When we come back, let's hear from Michael King from Padres spring training on Ben and Woods. Final hour of Annie and Elsten coming up right after this quick timeout. Final hour of the show. It is 1 o'clock on the Fan. Annie and Elsten go until 2. When it's going to be the Gwen and Chris show, or is it the Scraby and Sammy show again?
Scraby's back there. Just said my daily hello. And I think Chris is still out till tomorrow.
That's what I thought, too.
So he's got...
I think he's got Sammy early, Tony late.
Sammy probably, yeah. And Tony, right, where Tony will join when he can. Yeah.
Okay. Let's not make you wait any longer. It's time to announce today's biggest fan. Congratulations to today's biggest fan, Sean Davis from Fallbrook. Sean Davis from Fallbrook. Give us a call back in the next 10 minutes at 833-288-0973, and you'll qualify for our grand prize, 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a Padres game later this season. Remember to register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan. But Sean Davis.
Oh, let's go, Sean.
We've gone from 2 in Chula Vista to the entire opposite of the county, all the way up to Fallbrook in the Northeast. Sean, you've got until 1:11 to give the program a call. 833-288.
You can do it, Sean.
0973. You were Sean Davis's friend, and you just heard this.
Is it an S-E-A-N or S-H-A-W-N?
That's a great question, Annie. Glad you asked.
There's a lot of Sean Davises out there, probably.
Correct, and this is the A-U-N version.
Okay, S-H-A-U-N.
Indeed.
I mean, if any Sean Davis calls in, that guy
That's
gets whoever signed up gets credit for it.
That's true.
Maybe you're a Sean Davis that didn't sign up but wants to help a brother out. You know,
you can do that too. But anyways,
yeah, that's a good point.
Down to 9 minutes
Stay
now.
united.
Sean Davis is unite. 833-288-0973. That is the number, and we wish you good luck. And if you aren't Sean Davis, tune in tomorrow at 1. Maybe it'll be your name. 973thefansd.com/biggest fan. Look who just called.
Sean.
Look who's
in
here.
Fallbrook.
With an A and a U and an N.
Let's hear from Sean.
Yeah, let's see what's going on. Hi, Sean.
What's up, Sean?
Hey, good afternoon. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Are you the correct Sean Davis? You signed up and everything?
Yes, I did.
What are you doing today, Sean?
Just working.
Okay, right on.
What do you do?
What do you do, mate?
Shipping and receiving warehouse at UCSD.
Nice.
Oh,
All right.
nice.
My alma mater.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having us on while you're working. Glad that you heard us.
Oh, yeah, of course. Every day.
Put you back on hold for Braden to get you sorted, mate. But
He's done. He's good.
Oh, you're done? Yeah. All right.
Thanks, Sean.
Then you're good. Enjoy the rest of your day, man. You're in.
Go Tritons.
Go Tritons. Beat Northridge.
Cal State Northridge.
That's right. All right. Right
Not
now,
calling you
without any
Cecil.
further ado, let's bring you more great content from earlier this morning. And we are an eco-friendly program. 50% of today's content on Annie and Elsten is recycled, including this Michael King sitting down with Ben and Woods a few hours ago.
I know our next guest was down for a couple of days. It's the flu bug that kind of has hit a few guys, but he looks healthy now. He's back, and he is joining us here.
Michael King, was it the flu that got you, or was it just the Arizona wind and air?
I don't think it was the Arizona wind and air. I was shivering for like 36 hours with like a hoodie and sweatshirt. It wasn't fun.
But oh my God.
We're good.
Everything's good now.
Yeah, I got a little congestion, but you can probably hear it. So maybe work some magic on the sound bites there. Make me sound a little cooler.
Paulie is the wizard.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to work the magic for us yet.
No,
so
not yet, but it's fine. It's fine, man. It's good to see you again. You know, last year sitting down with you, getting to know you a little bit. Man, what a season for you. I mean, it was a delight to watch. And you know, we've been talking about it all off season, and it's like when Michael King is on, he is the nastiest pitcher in baseball, dude. And it was a lot of fun to watch last year. We all expected, you know, really good things. Were you? I don't want to ask if you were surprised by how good your season went, but were you?
I guess I can't say I was surprised. Obviously, I try to put all the work in that I can
100%.
do, and I set hefty goals for myself every year. So I actually came up short of my 180 inning goal in the regular season, and then I wanted to get to 200.
That was a crazy goal.
Playoffs. Come on now. So now it's a 200 inning goal in the regular season. So I'm still trying to get to those levels. I had a great support staff with the other starters around me. Ruben was obviously great for me. Higgy was awesome for me coming in. So I had a lot of guys that kind of molded me into
what I did last year.
How different though now? Because last year when we talked to you, you were introducing yourself to a new team, wanted to prove yourself as a full-time starter. It's very different this year around. You know, they're expecting you to be part of that starting rotation, and obviously those goals are now more realistic coming back. So how different is this spring for you?
Definitely a little, just because I feel like I have a spot on the team. I feel like I can assume more of a leadership role. We have that fifth spot open, and a lot of guys that are, one, similar to me, but two, are guys that are in my in the same category as me, like Stephen Kolek, coming from a reliever role. I know Brito is kind of in that same position where he was a reliever for us last year. So there are guys that are making that transition that I did last year. So I'm trying to just be a guidance for them and see how good our fifth spot can be this year.
You know, we were obviously, I think everybody was kind of wringing their hands in the off season, with the potential of you going into ARB. And I saw you on a podcast. I can't remember whose podcast it was. Kluber. And Kluber was asking you about the process, and I thought you handled it really well. I mean, you're like, yeah, this could happen. And, we were kind of kicking around. What might one say to a Michael King in arbitration? Like, you're too good, and your hair is too good, and his teeth are too white, and he is.
Tyler, shut up over there.
You're too much of a bulldog.
Too much
on
of
the
the community
mound.
with his foundation. It's really kind of annoying, actually.
Yeah. Yes, we need a little bit more dirt. Get your uniform a little more dirty.
Stuff's a little too nasty, actually.
But I thought your
making the other players look bad.
You guys are making me feel good.
I thought your perspective of when you said, "Look, this is the way it is," because they will use, or they will, at least the thread in there will be, well, we converted you. We kind of don't know, I mean, I think that you've proven that, and they know that, and you ended up avoiding it anyway. But what's that process like for you? You're like, all right, I may have to go sit in a room with this. It can't be fun.
Yeah, that was a conversation I had with my agent, because there are obviously the players that have okay years, and they can just how bad your season was. And he was like, you won't be sitting in that room and getting ripped apart by whoever it is, the Padres.
I don't know. They've never done it under AJ.
So under AJ. So I don't think they know who it would be.
And so what he thought their main argument was going to be is just because I was coming from a lower salary. I was coming from a reliever salary.
Right.
And so that's partially why I was so stern on the number that I wanted to get to,
setting lofty goals.
But it's also just like, you want to break the system a little bit for the next reliever turn starter.
Sure.
And it's like, relievers get paid less than starters. It's a fact. And I didn't want to then continue to get screwed by getting paid like a reliever the whole time because I started as a reliever. So the argument was like, he already got screwed once for being paid like a reliever. Don't let it happen again, and let him get paid like a starter.
Yeah.
So kind of the principle of the matter. Interesting. We're talking to Michael King, Padres, definitely starting pitcher here.
Whoa,
on 97th Street.
everybody.
Is there anything you're working on changing in terms of repertoire, or is it simply just refining what worked so well for you last year?
Honestly, it's still refining. I added that fifth pitch in like the little gyro slider I had last year. Didn't throw it very often, so I want to throw that a little bit more, but I also want to. My main thing is I feel like with both fastballs, I can command the fastball in 4 quadrants. With the slider, sweeper, and changeup, I really only have like the strike pitch and the 2-strike pitch. I want to be able to throw the changeup to both sides of the plate. I want to be able to throw the sweeper actually elevated a little bit, and for swing and miss away off the plate. I want to be able to throw it into lefties, away to lefties. There's so many different things that I need to feel comfortable with before I can add another pitch. And I felt like the little gyro slider was big for me, just to steal some weird strikes or get soft contact. And now it's really just refining the command of all those pitches.
Do you? With a guy. And again, I would watch your 2-seam, and I just go, my God. I mean, there's nobody's coming close to this thing. It was a marvel. That game you threw against the Dodgers, it was just like it was a work of art. I mean, it really was. I think about it all the time. And do you chase velo? Are you in the off season? Like, I would love to add a tick here and there. I'm going to get in my legs more, whatever it may be, strengthen my core and try to get an extra tick on the fastball.
I think everybody would like to have an extra tick.
Sure.
I don't know if there's anybody out there that wants to lose velo or Are we good? Sorry. But my main thing with my fastball velocity is to make sure that I have enough. I know I'm not going to be that Dylan Cease throwing 100 in the seventh inning, freaking nut. But if I have the mid 90s fastball, but can still keep the movement of it, and then use that to have my other pitchers get some deception, then it's fine. So my thing is actually more just a mechanical thing. I need to have that late hand speed. I need to hide the ball. I need to command it and get into my front hip. And those things, I know when they're there, the velocity will be mid 90s. And I know that as of now, I'll knock on wood, it's helped me through it's serviced me.
Michael, I wanted to ask you about one of your new teammates, Nick Pivetta, who I assume you saw in the AL East when he was pitching for Boston a few times. He's only been here a little bit of time, but what are your first impressions? I know he's supposedly kind of an intense competitor out there. What have you seen so far?
Yeah, I mean, obviously playing against him, you see that. There's been a lot of the position players on the team that I was on say they hate facing him just because he's that like ultra competitor. He's the one that's grunting on a changeup. He's the one that's like strutting around the mound. I call it like prime Scherzer. When Scherzer's on like his 20K games, he's like strutting around the mound like he's about to. It's like a feral beast,
like a madman,
And it was kind of funny because yesterday he threw a live BP.
We were there,
right there.
We saw it,
and
they were chirping. It was Tim and Toddy, and they were chirping. It was unbelievable. It was fun. It was like theater.
Joe said, and I totally agree with him, he can't wait for a start day because he wants to drink like 3 Red Bulls and get on the same wavelength as him and be like strutting around with Pivetta.
Yeah,
because it's like it's a fun start day now for a guy like that.
And we talked to Joe Musgrove yesterday. We're talking to Michael King right now, and we were asking Joe too about the losing Higgy. I mean, we loved Higgy. He was the best. This is a great dude, a great human being, and a great catcher, and had a monster year. Contributed a ton for you. So now you're going to have to work with other catchers as well. Do you think about that a lot, or do you say, hey man, this is what it is, and we got to get on the same page. We got to do it quick.
Definitely the latter. Obviously, Higgy was great. I was in a locker room with him, I think, for 8 straight years, which is kind of fun. And he's such a great dude. You know him, so he's great to have in the locker room. He definitely missed. But, I mean, I worked with Campy last year. I actually don't think I worked with Diaz in a game last year. He caught a couple bullpens of mine. Sully, I worked with a bunch. So it's like I already have a decent rapport with them. But I also think that a guy like Higgy, how he commands a staff trickles down to the next guys.
Sure.
I think I thought it was huge for even like an Ethan Salas to see how he worked, because Salas is coming soon, and it's like you have this veteran guy that knows how to handle a staff, that can call a game, that can separate offense and defense and go out there and have an awesome season. So I think a lot of those guys probably learn from a guy like Higgy, and I just can't wait to work with them.
Did any of them learn how to play The Trooper by Iron Maiden? Because that's what I'm going to miss the most about Higgy, is talking guitars with him in the clubhouse. Like me and him he's the only big leaguer I've ever met that likes heavy metal like I do. Literally the only one. Everybody else likes country or rap or whatever. Yep. And that's why I fell in love with the dude, because I love heavy metal too. And he's a guitar player, and nobody else. Who's going to shred in the clubhouse this year? Quiet. It's just gonna be quiet.
It's gonna be quiet. It's gonna be dead silent.
Dead silent.
Oh man. Last thing for me, Michael, and this is probably the tough one at the end. Last year of arbitration.
Oh boy.
Obviously, we don't know what happens after 2025.
We would like to offer you a contract right now.
Well, yeah,
for Better Woods, and
I mean, if we could, you start the foundation. You're putting some roots down in San Diego. We'd love to see you stay.
That's our pitch.
You had to be a little bit flexible, even to get the 1-year arbitration deal done. We saw some of the funny things that had to do with that contract. We don't know what the Padres in terms of financially, but have there been any talks, any discussion about anything long term yet?
There has not been anything.
Nothing yet.
No. Obviously, I love San Diego. Team's great, front office is great, but
sounds good. He's back. Anything. He's coming back. That's it. He said it right here.
Well, all we can hope is that the price tag keeps going up and up and up this year. As this Michael King has another
that's what he wants.
Fantastic season. So make it hurt.
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Thank you. And if I don't get a contract, I'll just come work for you guys.
That's fine.
Fair enough.
For us, man.
Thanks so much. Good luck. Anything new on the foundation? I keep seeing your posts. You guys are doing a lot of good work.
The Padres have been great. We're now in heavy discussions. I think we finalized today, but I don't want to say it, for our foundation event this year.
Okay.
We're also going to do a little something at the ballpark, so it's going to be a great season.
We will stay tuned for that. Thank you, Michael. Good to see you again.
Thanks,
as always. Michael King, Padres starting pitcher, joining us.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Great stuff.
Yeah, good to hear from Michael, and has the right attitude, and cool to hear him talk about the other guys in the rotation too.
I mean, I know you've heard me say it a bunch of times, but I really would. And he just said there's been no discussion, there's been no approach, there's been no negotiation, no offer, nothing long term has been presented to Michael King. Doggone it, I'd like to see him try. I'd like to see them try to re-sign this guy.
Yeah. At least we know to this point it hasn't been done. I mean, they could try to do something during the season, but my guess is that'd be more likely toward the end of the season, or, maybe having first dibs at an offer. Unless they just kind of know, hey, we're not gonna be able to match this. Let us know what you find out in the free agent market and holler if we can if you think we can match it, or who knows, something like that. So, but I think if he has a decent year, he's going to get some interest.
He's going to get real money. I mean,
in the free agent market.
Honestly, anything short of an injury wiped out year, he's going to get lots of interest. But he just talked about putting 200 innings on the board. I mean, if he puts up 170 and then 200 innings and he continues to pitch at the level that he has, he'll be one of the most highly sought after arms in all of baseball.
Yeah. And I mean, it would make sense for him to just go to free agency. But look, if the Padres come in, maybe September, October, something like that, or right after the season ends with a really high offer and say, hey, we're going to match whatever you could get out there. Who knows? That's probably not good negotiation skills, but a high offer, an offer of interest from Michael King. I think that he and his wife really do love San Diego. And, sure, if they can make it work, I think they'd love to stay here.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think Dylan Cease would love to stay here too. It's just, you can only give out so many gigantic long-term contracts. And, Padres have given out a lot of them. And that's why we've got the team that we've got. But it means sometimes you've got some good guys. And Blake Snell is another one of those, right? Like Blake Snell came through. He wanted to stay here. He would have loved to stay here, but it didn't happen.
Right.
And I think it's very safe to say that when you make long-term bets on position players, that's a way safer bet than making long-term bets on starting pitchers.
Yeah, you just never know like how a guy's going to age and how his arm's going to hold up. So it's a good thing that the Padres, at least to this point, have not traded Dylan Cease, and we're going to see a rotation of Michael King, Dylan Cease, at least for now, Yu Darvish, Nick Pivetta, and then whoever that fifth starter is, and then whoever else, takes those spots during the year. But I think it's definitely a year that they can look at themselves and say, okay, we can be really dominant. Like we can go out there and we can really set the bar for our rotation and what we want. All of because they kind of think of it like passing the baton too, what we want all of these starters to be and strive for. And I think that's what you got to do this year.
Let's take a time out. When we come back, we'll hit reset on some of the topics that we were addressing much earlier in the show, and we'll give you an update on the very latest as the Padres play a no video game in Mesa against the A's. Scoring update, Matt Waldron's outing, and more when we come back. Andy and Elsten go until 2 o'clock on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We were just chatting during the break about all the different ways that you can use the Underdog app and how many different fun games you can play. Underdog, a leading sports app in the United States, available to play here in California. You want to win 1,000 times your money? Well, if you hit everything just right, you can do it with Underdog. What are we doing here? We're playing daily fantasy sports, and that covers all the different sports you can think of. Baseball coming up, of course, NFL in the past, NBA right now, NHL, college sports, soccer, golf. It's all available on Underdog. You pick as few as 2 players, as many as 8. They have to be from at least 2 separate teams/sports. And you pick higher or lower on one of their stats like points or rebounds or goals or more. They've got everything you need. You can play for as little as $1 in an entry. If you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Download the Underdog app. Sign up now using the promo code Craig to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun. Sign up with promo code CRAIG. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Back with you on Annie and Elsten. 124 is the time. Update from Mesa. Top of the 6th inning. Padres 3. A's absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I'm reading AJ Cassavell on Twitter. He says Matt Waldron is the first Padre to work 3 innings this spring. He held the A's scoreless, allowing a hit and a walk while striking out 2. Nothing hit hard against him.
Robert Suarez followed with a scoreless inning, 2 punchies. Jeremiah Estrada followed with a scoreless inning, 1 strikeout, perfect frame. Suarez gave up 1 hit along the way. Forrest Wall and Trenton Brooks have solo homers, just like we expect in the regular season.
Oh, yeah.
Forrest Brooks and Forrest Wall.
Brooks and Wall, law
Brooks,
firm of Brooks and Wall.
Yeah. Brooks, Wall, and Wade. Tyler Wade, RBI single.
Brooks, Wall, Forrest, Brooks, Wall, and Wade.
Sick. That's where we are. It's the dog days of spring, gang.
Before the dog days of there's a lot of dog days in baseball.
The dog days of spring
That's
have
rough.
arrived. Trips to Mesa.
Is this rock bottom?
You just want to close your eyes and kind of be at the last week, like
Yeah.
March 20th.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Wake
kids.
back up.
It's a great day.
And hey, a week till the opening day. All right.
Yeah. Hey, who won that job?
That's right.
Who won that job out there?
Right.
Whatever did happen with that guy?
Who's starting the season in El Paso? Okay.
Okay, cool. Got it.
Got
right?
it. Got
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll get there. Don't worry. We'll get there
in due time.
3 weeks from now.
Long weeks.
We will get there. I just saw this. Did I see it on X? I forget where I saw it, but Mike DiGiovanna. That's a name we know, right?
Yes, we've had him on the show.
Yeah. LA Times beat writer. Been at the paper for almost 45 years. Yeah, here I just found this on the Sporting Tribune, and the first part isn't that shocking. So Mike DiGiovanna, longtime writer, Los Angeles Times. LA Times has been offering buyouts to senior writers, to their more highly paid staff, to get him off the books. We'll give you a nice buyout. Just, kind of like the AP did with Bernie Wilson, right? He was going to go a couple more years. They're like, no, bro, here's a buyout. Cushy buyout, more money than you'd get off the books today. Right. So Mike DiGiovanna is off the books. Congratulations to Mike DiGiovanna. Longtime writer heading into retirement, 45 years on the beat. Incredible.
Yeah. Love DG. He is one of the good ones, one of the last of the remaining just like really good writers and people, and got to know him real well when he also covered the Chargers on their move from San Diego to Los Angeles. And he would come down to San Diego every week, for most of the week. And he's just a really good dude. So he's going into retirement. Good for him.
So that part is, very, very, very normal. But as I'm reading this tweet from the Sporting Tribune, the last two sentences are both shocking to me. I'm being a little hyper, but honestly, not really. And like 30 years ago, it would have been drop your jaw to the floor. Shocking. Here are these two sentences. He was one of two baseball writers on staff. We're talking about the Los Angeles Times.
Yeah.
One of the four biggest newspapers in the country.
Well, they have Jack, who covers the Dodgers.
They have Shaken. They have Dylan Hernandez.
Didn't Jack Harris get let go and then re-signed? And
But he's been there. But he's been there. Yes. But he's been there at least since 2 years ago, 1 year.
Yeah, because
he was brought back the same summer.
Because he was covering the Angels for a while,
or the same offseason.
Here's the next sentence: the paper will not cover the Angels with a beat writer this season. The LA Times is not going to assign a beat writer to a Major League Baseball team.
Yeah, this is so the Union Tribune, when I worked there, and the LA Times were sister papers for a while.
Right.
And so we got to know them pretty well over there at the LA Times. And the LA Times, as we all know, used to be just the absolute mecca. I mean, they did a great job. There was no trip they wouldn't go on. They would try to rival the New York Times and the Washington Post and all those papers in terms of national news. But in terms of like sports, like they did a great job. I mean, they were at everything. They had probably double the amount of writers that they have today. They had just a ton of people, a ton of resources, way more than like the Union Tribune would ever have, because they were the LA Times and that's what they did. But they've had a lot of resources cut since Patrick Soon-Shiong has bought that paper, and it hasn't gone as planned. And then they formed a union, and that hasn't gone as planned. And a lot of things for the LA Times have not gone as planned over the last few years. It's been pretty rough on them. And I think they overshot. They hired a lot of new people when Patrick came on, and then they had to fire them all. And, there's just been a lot of changing priorities, but it also speaks to Los Angeles and their sports town, because they have so many sports teams that while it is insane, I think it's insane. They should absolutely have an Angels beat writer. That's stupid. I definitely think they should. But the way, they have so many sports teams that they will sacrifice some, and they will say, this is more important. This is more important. Over here is more important. And that's kind of, probably what they've done in this situation. They probably have a roving reporter that will go out to some home games, I imagine, for the Angels.
The flattening of the universe media-wise has had advantages to certain people. It has some benefit to the public at large, but the withering of actual talent for actual journalism is shocking. The atrophy of actual work, actual journalism is shocking. And it's not to say that there couldn't be an independent Angels podcast that does a great job covering the team and breaking things down. It's not to say that there couldn't be a reporter that comes in on a particular week and gets the job done. And, the Athletic hasn't dropped their beat writer, so Sam Blum will still be there. Mm-hmm. And now he's just got a wide open field to work on. But
he doesn't, I'm sure he doesn't want that. You don't want to be the only beat writer out there. And golly, for the Angels, they got on him for telling the truth a few years ago. He had to get kicked off of a roundtable for telling the truth about the team, and then there was a whole drama. So I'm sure he wishes there'd be more actual journalism around.
Well, we talked about
and
it
not
before.
Just manufactured.
I guess I'll probably talk about it occasionally for as long as they give me a mic, right? But it's everything has fundamentally changed. And as it changed, I don't think a lot of people realized along the way what changes were happening. There was just a streamlining of, okay, I used to get the paper, but now it's on my phone. Or, I used to get the paper. I don't get the paper. Who needs the paper anyway? Look how many people they fired. I can track it all on social media. And meanwhile, every professional team says, hey, you know what? We don't need the media at all. We're going to hire somebody, and that person's going to be our quote unquote beat writer. Now the Angels beat writer works for the Angels. Well, guess what? The Angels beat writer who works for the Angels is never going to do. They're never going to publish an investigative piece on the Angels.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the news that we've talked about from spring trainings thus far. It's anything that's kind of been more exclusive has come from the beat writers. You want beat writers out there. You want journalism. You want newspapers. You want independent journalists out there doing their jobs. It's you'll miss it when it's gone. I promise you. For everybody out there that's like, oh, it's dead. It's whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's dying, but for the wrong reasons. It's dying because everything else has kind of been prioritized. That might be something that you think you want, but when the actual boots on the ground journalism is gone, and you're spoon-fed things that are just somewhat propaganda, you will miss it. You will miss it.
But that's what the market has turned into. Has been either ridiculous fanboying or unrealistic, absolute, I wouldn't say hatred, but it's two extremes of the spectrum, and that's what gets clicks. I saw an article about this a couple of years ago when it came to college football, and all of these accounts that had these blogs for college football, and they get paid by the clicks. They found that their articles that were all positive about their teams or the teams that they covered got way more interaction than anything negative or kind of critical or anything thought-provoking that came about. And so what all these different blogs did, it's like 24/7 Sports and some of these, Bleacher Report that all have these local coverage and podcasts of these teams, they discovered that all the fans want all these fluff pieces about these teams. And so they have hired, and you see it now with all of these, it's just a bunch of fans covering the teams because that is what people want. And on the opposite side, there's all those miserable fans out there that want to tell me how much my team sucks because I know it sucks and they ruin my life and all this other stuff. And there's no middle ground of thought-provoking interactions or interviews or stories or topics. And even the ones that are left are slowly starting to decrease because of this hot take society that we have created with social media and what you see on TV. So a lot of it has to go with the market of what people are subscribing to and what people are consuming and what people find entertaining. And that's why you see all of these places that people subscribe to, because a lot of these you have to subscribe to. I mean, there's no difference between a newspaper website and a blog site. There's no difference. You're doing the exact same thing. And if that blog site has access with the credential, it's the same thing. And people are deciding to take their money to said blog sites. So you get to this point where the LA Times is not covering the Angels because they don't need to, because the Angels fans are finding it somewhere else. And they like these pieces that are being put out.
I mean, I think I would love to have, we could have Ryan Finley on from the UT or Jay Posner, because I think that may be true for some cases, but I know the UT got a lot of clicks out of like independent journalism and stories that nobody else has. And
right.
Even, when some of the show, Chargers leaving, all that stuff.
Right.
I mean, I don't know that it's all positive all the time, but I do think that there's definitely from the teams a desire to many teams, not all teams, but many teams, to only want to act like everything's always positive all the time.
Correct.
You can think about our chat. It's very positive a lot, or it's very super negative a lot. I mean, those are all Padres fans. The people listening to us are all Padres fans. And when you talk to Padres fans, and ours, for us, it's different because we have to be neutral. Even though we are the Padres flagship, we like to see them win, and we are, somewhat fans. We do have to have this kind of sense of neutrality of understanding what's going on with the team. Friends that I have that are Padres fans, they're sunshine and rainbows all the time, and everything gets spun into a positive, and they call me negative for just pointing out a couple of things. But even the reverse side too, if things are going bad, hey, it's not as bad as you think it is. Like, how many times do we deal with that with people in the chat where everything seems good, but hey, look, there's a couple things that are going wrong. Oh, you're being negative. Or the same thing, things seem like they're in the outhouse with the Padres. There's 3 games in a row and the sky is falling, and we go, hey, look, there's a couple of bad luck plays here. Oh, you're just a mouthpiece for the team. It's very extreme with diehard fans. That's why they're called fanatics, and that's why that content gets consumed, because that's the content that a lot of people are craving.
Well, emotions run high.
Yes.
And that's hot, and that's a bright color. And I understand that. But what we are losing as an American society with what is happening is the pursuit of objective truth. We are losing that. That is just going by the board, and it's becoming either what Braden is talking about, which is creating polarizing content, take-based economy, right? Polarizing content, or creating glimmering content like you're going to get from the in-house media.
Right.
Everything is shiny. Everything is great. And yeah, you can have, one thing you said was, well, you can have a website that's a newspaper. You can have a blog site. Those are the same thing. Well, it's the same in terms of it shows up on my screen, but one of them's got used to have the institutional backing that meant that you had to be taken seriously if the LA Times beat writer shows up.
Right. I think sometimes it's like in today's world, forgotten that if I go and I write something for the newspaper that is incorrect, I will maybe lose my job. I will get dragged into a meeting that will not be good for me. So will my editor. So we'll have to print a retraction, where in a lot of these other things, these other places, there's no outside accountability.
No accountability.
So you could say whatever you want. You could do whatever you want. You could say you heard this, you heard that, you whatever, where I have to be very, very careful of not putting anything that is not fact checked.
There's a lot of teams and schools that have handed out credentials to outlets that probably shouldn't get one, and has eliminated and put them at the same value of what Annie's talking about with the San Diego Union Tribune as an example. And it's like, well, they both cover the team. I don't know what the problem is, but the standards that the UT gives to their reporters is a lot different than somebody running their own blog.
And the training,
right, and the experience,
right, the difference,
editors,
right,
yes,
the difference between I went through years of school, education, got a degree, a journalism degree, worked my way through multiple newspapers, worked my way through all the hoops that Annie just described, that you have to do things right, or I'm a plumber, but nothing against plumbers who can be brilliant and really good writers too. I'm a doctor. You know, hey, we've had one on Letters to AJ, who's a great writer, right? He's a doctor by his profession. You know, John Percoda, doctor by profession. These guys can dabble in sports and be really good from time to time. But if you don't have the background of the actual training, there's going to be something you miss along the way. And that's what we're losing, is what we don't know. We're losing the ability to find out what we don't know.
Right. You just won't get news. I mean, you'll get like the sunshine and the rainbows, and you'll get like the takes, but you won't get, there'll be so much that isn't reported. There'll be so much that isn't reported because no one's there to do it. And, or, you know, I think sometimes teams even, you know, it's their job to put out sunshine and rainbows, but you'd be surprised how much they censor and how much they try to censor anyone who's doing like actual journalism. True. All right. So it's quite interesting. It's a quite interesting time that we live in. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, even just editors, like having good editors that like, you know, I know I can speak for many of my colleagues and myself, like kicked my butt. Like, I mean, like, you know, you and understandably the UT has gone through cuts and had resources taken away, and no one's denying that. But especially when I came up in journalism, I mean, you know, there still is a super high standard, but there was a huge high standard, and you would get torn apart. And I mean, that's the best way to learn. You would get torn apart in your stories.
Really interesting discussion. Just, you know, it's a damn shame. We are super overdue for a break.
We are.
When we come back, we're going to open up the lines. You only have 8 minutes to call the show for Ask Us Anything, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. You can give us a call, though, right now, and we will get you on the air. Plus, when we come back, some good news out of the mouth of Miles Bird on campus at SDSU. We'll bring you that clip when we return. Annie and Elsten, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. The time. We've got a quick Ask Us Anything coming up. You can call us right now at 833-288-0973. First, this just happened today on campus at San Diego State, and I certainly think it's worth passing along. Miles Byrd, sophomore out of Stockton. You know, he's been banged up a little bit this year, but moved up some of the NBA boards, and certainly a thought at the end of the season, could he be somebody that could be poached a la Malcolm Butler to go to some SEC school or something? Here's what Miles Byrd had to say about it today.
Yeah, I'm ruling out the same thing. If I'm going to come back, no portal for me. If I'm coming back to college, I'm coming back to SEC.
And so you just figure out the other stuff after.
I mean, maybe do pre-draft and stuff with my agency and see where that takes me and stuff. But, you know, right now, all I care about is how we finish out this year and where we seed ourselves come March.
So that's huge. Miles Byrd will test the NBA waters. As he said, he'll probably go to the pre-draft camp. He'll go through the evaluations. He'll see if he gets word that he might get picked in the first round or maybe the high second. And if not, he's coming back to San Diego State. He's not going to take money, Annie, to go somewhere else.
Yeah, and it was, I think, in Mark Ziegler's article that Reese Waters is returning as well.
Yes.
He's going to redshirt the year and come back next year to San Diego State. So good, really good for this team, I think. I mean,
huge.
This group of guys could be really good next year.
I agree. And if somehow Magoon Guath can stick around too, like, look out.
Yeah.
SDSU should be a monster team, but that's great news.
Great news for State. Yeah.
For Aztecs fans all around. Okay. We got at least one person on hold. Let's go ahead and hit that bumper. Eight 833-288-0973. If you want to throw us a quick phone call, you can try it. 833-288-0973. Here's Dexter in Spring Valley. Hi, Dexter. How you going, man?
Konnichiwa, minasan. Genki desu ka?
Wow.
Okay. So the reason why I spoke in my original language of Japanese is to, and I don't mean to throw Annie under the bus, but I do want to call a foul on her earlier in the show.
Wow.
Because she did two things wrong with regards to she did say that the team was called the Lions.
Okay.
But she didn't want to give the full name.
All right.
And the full name is the Seibu Lions.
Seibu Lions.
And the second thing was the league she mispronounced as Nippon, and it's either Nippon or Nihon. Okay.
Thank you so much.
So,
all right.
So you know, I mean, since we're getting such an influx of, you know, Asian players, I think it would, you know, from the KBO and the Nippon, you know, baseball, I think that would be great if we started the media, especially locally, start to really kind of be a little bit more vigilant, because I mean we've been doing it for, like, you know, all of the players we're getting from the Caribbean and from the Latin American countries. I think it's only fair that we do that for the people who are coming from the Asian leagues as well.
All right, Dexter. Thanks, man.
Now Michelle in the chat says Annie messes up a lot.
Oh, wow.
Michelle, I'd love
Wow.
receipts. Where? Please.
Yeah. What you got, Michelle?
If you're gonna bring it, give
That's
the
right.
receipts, man.
Jeez.
How much you mess up at your work,
Yeah.
Michelle?
Wow.
The only difference is we're not
Come
there
on,
to tell you when you mess
Dexter.
up.
Come on, man. I mean,
Hey, Dexter, I appreciate it.
I mean,
I think, you know,
he did
he's
it in
right.
good
He's
spirit.
right.
He did it with the good heart. He did it with a good heart.
We should work to pronounce correctly.
Mexico, right? Mexico, not Mexico, right? Mexico.
Mhm.
Got it. Nippon, not Nippon. Nippon. Roberto in San Marcos, what you got, man?
Hey, my question today is, when we win a MLS Cup, do you think that San Diego will give it the praise it deserves?
Well, kind of putting the cart a little bit in front of the horse there, because we do have to win it.
You didn't know after last week it's
over.
It's locked in, dude.
It's
Part
over.
of the plan of the parade.
I do. I do think they will. I think that this year is going to convert a lot of people, and I think that the stadium is going to stay pretty full. And I think being a part of the world's game is going to lock in. I think the fact that it's a major league franchise is going to lock in for people that we're in the first division. We're not playing around in the minors. And I think on the glorious day, whenever that day may be, next year, this year, or 50 years from now, that San Diego FC wins the MLS Cup, I think people will handle it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Real quick for Annie, did you know you had to speak Japanese to host the show?
I didn't, but I do now. And
That was very good.
I don't know what that was about.
That was very good on your part, Roberto. Thank you.
God.
We needed that. That
Thanks,
was the exact
Roberto.
right kicker that we needed.
If Dexter says ricotta cheese, I'm gonna be on his ass.
Ricotta.
Ricotta.
Yeah, there you go, Brandon. That's right.
We want to pronounce. We want to, be good at pronouncing everything.
Darren, do we have to start screening these calls, or isn't it part of the joy of it?
I don't mind. Dexter, Michelle. I wish Michelle would give me examples. I think it's like if you're going to be like, at least Dexter had an example,
Yeah,
I don't mind. Bring it. Let me know,
Well, listen, it's all part of the fun, gang. We appreciate y'all being here.
Can't wait to learn 8 languages before tomorrow.
I'm going to be working on that in the 20 hours in between, but we will be back at 10 a.m. Gwen and Chris is up next for Annie and Braden. I'm Craig. See ya.
Bye.